Hello, everyone, and peace of Christ, all of you. Please invite your friends and let us have some good time together. Today, our topic, as you see in the title, it says, Man created Allah or Allah created the man. A person, he asked Zakir Naik, peace be upon him. So the question is, who created Allah? And how Zakir Naik can answer the question? Very simple. It's just two words. Very easy.
The question is illogical.
The question is not illogical. You know, I like it when a Muslim, he speak about logic. So, you know, the easiest way to refute somebody, to say to him the question is not logical. Like, you know, if this guy is a Greek person and he grew up in a philosophy country and, you know, the whole nation is a philosophers, I will say, okay, you know what, those people, they go by logic. So look who is talking about logic, the one who believed that his God will give him endless number of women to have sex with, just because he pray 5 times a day and he hate his neighbor. A person who believed that his private part will be endless, and the woman, she would have a vagina fit for that. A person who believed that, you know, the sun set in murky water and he tried to fix it. He says it's in the perspective of Zulqarnain. Why Zulqarnain was a donkey? What perspective of Zulqarnain? And the Quran does not say perspective. So when the Muhammadan, they try to refute somebody and they don't have an answer for what the question is, they come with silly, stupid answer because they have no answer. In fact, if we go in the hadith, we will find that the Muslims believe, now for sure the Muslim says to you, no, we don't believe in that, but this is in their books, that when Allah decided to create himself, he made a horse run, and then he created himself from the sweat of the horse. From what? From the sweat of the horse. So even the Muslims, they have different answer from what Zakir Naik, he says. Let me find you the reference so people will not say I'm making things up. You know, and when I go like live, I just, okay, I decide to go live and I look what YouTube show me and I choose a topic from what YouTube show me. Like YouTube suggests for me, always when I open it, some videos. Let us see here. I'm just trying to find you an official website so we can read it from. All right, let's see. I will be with you in a second. I have the reference in front of me. Okay, let's use this one. Now, the Muslims, by the way, they say those hadith are a lie. We don't believe in them. But you need to ask yourself how even those stories is mentioned and how it's written in their books and why it's in their books if it is a lie anyway. You know, I mean, if you know, what's wrong with this religion? Why everything, you know, in this religion is embarrassment. And the second a Muslim, he tried to fix the problem, the easiest way is to say this is a lie. Somebody wrote it. You know, the scholar who said that, you know, he is a stupid, you know, he is a donkey. He did not, you know, he don't know what he's talking about. So who is the one who knows what to talk about? Let us see. I found a website, but they are like insulting. You know, may Allah curse the one who wrote this website, this hadith. You know, oh boy. Okay, let's see. I posted before, you know. Sometimes we get lucky and we get right away the trustworthy sources, so we can post it. All right, let's see this one here. There we go. Now here they will say to you that the hadith is mawdu', which means rejected, you know. But this is in their books. And here you now ask yourself, why it's even there. إن الله خلق الفرس فأجراها فعرقت ثم خلق نفسه منها. Allah, He created the horses, and He's speaking here about mostly female horses. And He made them run like heavy duty running. And then He, you know, He created Himself from the sweat of the horses. If we use Google translation, as you see in the front of you, Allah created the horse, so He made it sweat, and then He created Himself from it. And those are the numbers for the hadith, as you see here. And this hadith repeated many, many times. It's not like only once. So, me, myself, I'm not going even to consider this hadith as a proof who is Allah, because I believe even this is stupid. This is even stupid, you know. I'm not going to say to a Muslim, your God Allah created from a sweat of a donkey. He will say no, no problem. But your God could not be the one who created anything. Who created Allah? Zakir Naik says the question is not logical. Why? And the funny is, in his video here, he said, John, he went to the hospital and John gave birth to a child. What was the gender of the child, boy or a girl? And then he said, this is not logical. Why? Because John, he cannot give birth. But John is a human, not God. God can give if he is God. I mean, who is going to tell God what you can, what you cannot do? So they are asking you about Allah, and you are saying John, he went to the hospital. Same time, in the books of hadith, the hadith says that a Muslim man in the heaven, he is going to give and deliver babies. Let us see. Here we go. This is hadith. In case you do not know what hadith mean a speech of the Prophet, or even sometime his companions. So Muhammad, he said, as you see, when the believer want a child in paradise, he will be conceived and be growing up in a short while according to his desire. Actually, this is a false translation. In Arabic, it says fi sa'a. Sa'a in the Arabic language today mean an hour, but this is not how it is in the time of Muhammad. Sa'a at that time is like between 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes maximum. So if a man, he wished to have a child, he will conceive it. Like the translation here is not really good. Let us see different one. Yeah, you see here the same hadith. Let's see. Yeah, they are not giving an accurate translation. So when a Muslim he answer about a question which is a serious question and he say it's not logical, well, you should be a person who follow logic then. Is it logical that Mary, she gave birth to Jesus according to Islam and she is a virgin? Is that a logical thing? What you will say, you say it's a miracle. So how come when they ask you about who created your God, you don't use the logic, which is logical for you? Is it possible that somebody created Allah? Allah is just a word. Allah is not God. If He is God, prove it to us. If He is God, prove it to us. My Skype is open. If there is any Muslim who would like to join us and prove to us that Allah is God and He exists, I will be happy to take you. Right? Let us see here. All right, look like somebody saying he is a Muslim. Let us see if, I don't know if this is, but this is from yesterday. You know, the problem, you do not know if people are asleep. You know, the guy, he texted me yesterday when I was off. We will call him anyway. If you are a Muslim, you'd like to join us, please feel free. He is not answering. Okay. Let us see. All right, somebody's saying he got a sheikh to call me, but I don't know when he will call me. I just told him, well, you can, you know, let them call me. There's no need for, you know, set up a time. They can call anytime. So what is the proof that Allah is exist? If there is any proof, any Muslim can tell Allah is exist. If Allah is exist and Allah is God, then He must be a stupid God. That means there's a smart God and stupid God. Is that possible? What do you think? Because based on what we learn from the Quran and from what Muhammad said, obviously the one who is behind the religion of Islam must be very stupid. So if we believe that there is a stupid God, that means there is a smart God. But in the scenario, we can confirm that Allah is a stupid God if He exists as God. Is it possible that there's many gods and one of them is a stupid, so stupid, and his name is Allah? Any Muslim can give us an answer? Name for me one thing Allah He said is not stupid. If He exists, if this is the one, not Muhammad, copying from Waraq ibn Nawfal, his real father, and copying stories from the Christians and the Jews and the Hindus and the Persian and Alexander the Great, you know. Any Muslim can help us? Is it possible that there is a smart gods and stupid gods? Because if Allah is really God, let us say He is from family of gods. Let us say that. There's a family, there's a billion God maybe. A tribe. All of them, they are gods, like those two we see in the movies. And Allah, based on what we learn from what He said, He must be the most stupid God between them. What do you think? Who is going to call me and prove to me that Allah is not a stupid God? Anyone? If there is any Muslim would like to call me and tell me that Allah is not a stupid God. Anyone? Any Muhammadan? We're not asking you for miracles. We are asking you, is your God Allah is smart? Prove it. You know, God and yet stupid, that's really funny. Like as an example, you know, the Quran says, Aka Allah, that there is hail coming from mountains in heaven. That's stupid. Don't you agree with me, Muslims? You know, you can tell those ignorant American, Australian, Canadian, Indonesian, you know, those who do not know anything about Islam, and they are by millions. But you cannot fool us. We have all the laundry of Allah. Is it possible that there is God who do not know how ice is made? Is it? Any Muslim? Until now we see nothing. I do not need to study philosophy and logic, and I do not need to be smart like Zakir Naik, because Zakir Naik is genius, you know. I mean, he is a genius. What kind of God is God is? And when the Muslims they try to mislead people, look what they say in the translation. That Allah, Allah He sends down from the sky mountain mass of a cloud wherein is hail. Is it just really what the verse is saying? Do you have even a little dignity? Who is a Muslim? He can call me and he say, yes, this is what the verse is saying. No dignity, no honor. And the funny is, they say that Christians and Jews and other religion, they corrupted their book. But isn't this a corruption? The Quran in Arabic, it says, وَيُنْزِلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِنْ جِبَالٍ فِيهَا مِنْ بَرَدٍ فَيُصِيبُ بِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. If we change the translator, we will see a different story. I mean, what's wrong with this religion? Is it really what it says in the Quran, or those people making things up? He sent down out of heaven mountains where is hail. Still, this translation is not accurate, by the way, but it's close, little bit more honest. You see, there's no cloud here. They add a cloud, and it says it clearly, he sent hail from mountains in heaven. And even if we go to Ibn Kathir, it says he sent down hail from mountains in heaven. Let us go to Ibn Kathir. Let's see Ibn Kathir what say. Can we? Because maybe Ibn Kathir, by the way, he worked for a Christian prince, or maybe a Tabari or a Jalalain or etc. You know, they work for a Christian prince. So chapter 24 verse number 43. 24. Read with me. And this is Ibn Kathir. What you will say now, Ibn Kathir is from Afghanistan. He don't speak good Arabic like he is the fake Sheikh Uthman. Al-Luta, Al-Qawm al-Luta. Huh? Is that the case? This is Ibn Kathir saying, from Min mountains, in Min ice, means there is our mountain of hail in the sky. Do you see it? Do you see it? Abdul saying to me, can you lie little less, please? Well, if you want to do that, I have to stop reading your book. Because as you see, in front of you, I'm showing you one of the most stupid lies of your God. And you are asking me, can you lie, please, little less, please? How I can stop lying as long as I'm reading the Quran? The biggest lie ever. How you refute this? Is that your book? Can you stop lying, please, a little bit, please? Can you, please? Please, please, please. Can you? Means that there are mountains of hail in the sky which Allah sent down hail from it. Can you Christian Prince lie, please? Little bit, please, please. Can you please? Come on, you are lying a lot. Ibn Kathir is lying a lot. The Prophet of Allah is lying a lot. Allah is lying a lot. And now because I'm reading your book, I'm lying a lot. I mean, and you know, they say to you, this guy is a liar. What is the proof? He's lying to you. This is stupid Ibn Kathir. I mean, can you see how dumb they are? We show them the reference, we put it in the screen, we give them the website, we give them the verse, we give them the chapter, we show the translation, and yet they say here, can you please stop lying, please? And what happened to your name? Your name looked like Allah, you know, he was making a mixer, cocktail, a drink before he got drunk, and he made this verse. So the stupid Muhammad, who he claimed that his God is telling him how hair is made, he figured it out. How Muhammad knew this? God told him. Who is the one who said this? God? Allah? So when a Muslim he answers says, his name is the F word, no problem, he can F as much he want. I will leave it in the screen. He can F. This is the best you can do? Potatoes. Like their prophet. And not only that, all the scholars agree about this verse meaning, you know. It's not like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, you know. The whole gang. All the gang. Do you see it? This is Tafsir al-Jalalain. And he sent down from heaven out of mountains, and they explain to you the Arabic. Min jibalin. Let us see this guy. So how we are lying? You know, yesterday we received call from Ultimate Fort, and he was speaking as a homosexual. You know, he called himself a girl, and he speak like a girl. I mean, this guy, I don't know if he's a guy or not, but this guy is really weird. Can you believe it that this guy is acting like a girl, speaking to me? Hi, how are you? You know, and he changed his voice and he changed his pants. I mean, no dignity. Scammers. Fakira. Hello? Hello? Is that Fakira? Hello? Yeah, I hear you. Who is with me? Mute YouTube. Mute YouTube. Mute YouTube. Oh. Mute YouTube. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? All right. Who is talking with me, my friend?
Okay, you're talking to Baro.
Huh?
You're talking to Baro.
You are talking to
Okay,
what?
I want to tell you some Baro.
Your name is what?
B-A-R-O.
B-R what?
B-A-R-O. Baro.
Baror. Baror.
You know Baro?
I don't know. Your name in Skype is Muhammad. So what is your name? Muhammad or Baror what? What is that?
Muhammad Baro.
Oh, okay. Where are you from, my friend?
From here?
From here? That's wonderful.
Hmm?
I am from there. So what do you want to say to us? Go ahead.
Why you know why you're talking, you lie too much. You know that?
Okay, you lie about what?
Yeah. You don't know why why you don't talking like this.
Like what? Like what? Can you tell me what the lie I just said?
You don't know what you said?
No, I do not know. You tell me. I did lie. You know, I was reading the Quran, and the Quran says that Allah He sent the hail from mountains in heaven. So what do you think about that? Mute YouTube. Mute YouTube.
You gonna run now?
Here we go. Son of Muta. Here. Fakira. Fakira. You want to run now? Can you answer about this, you son of Muta? I will never let you speak because you are a filthy sewage mouth. And we have you recorded millions of times, and the last time you said the F word to your prophet. We made you famous. Fakira, son of Muta. Hey, Fakira. I know he's a Fakira. Stop lying, stop lying. I mean, look, it's in front of you. The translation, the Arabic, the English, your Muslim website, your, you know, your... Fakira. You know, I could not believe it that yesterday he called me using a voice of a homosexual. Hi, how are you? Why are you? And I said, are you Ultimate Fart? Who is Ultimate Fart? Who? Like, what the heck? And the recording is there. I want everybody to download the video yesterday and post it. Ultimate Fart is you know what, you know the thing. Oh boy. It's still there. I challenged this son of Muta to download the video and put it in his channel. Are you running? Sure we are on. Do we have a real Muslim? And not only that, can you believe it that in the Skype he called himself Muslim? He's I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim, not Muslim. He's even insulting Muslims. Muslim, which means dark. Like living in darkness. Muslim. Idiot. Do we have any brave Muslim? He have the courage. The only one is scoring us is a Fakira. And he is a prophet. And he believe he follow the messenger of Allah, Rashad Khalifa. Which means according to Islam, he's a kafir. Zakir. Any brave Muslim can tell us, is it possible that you have a God? Maybe he exists, but he's a stupid God. Is that possible? Any Muslim? Is it possible that your God exists, but yet he is stupid? Because we confirm that Allah is stupid. It's in front of you, read it. See, the website I'm showing you now, not only this is Tafsir al-Jalalain, this is the official government of the Kingdom of Jordan. If we can call it kingdom, and this guy is a potato. The British intelligence, Her Majesty the Quinn, she grabbed a guy from Arabia. He's a Bedouin. He lived in the tent. He did not take a shower for a year. And she, they spread the news that he is descended from Muhammad family. And then they made him a king so they can get rid of the Ottoman Empire. But at the end of the day, you have to take it. Those people, they claim that they are from the family of Muhammad. As you see, it says, the project of Ahl al-Bayt Institute of Islamic Thought. You can email them if you are not sure about this website. And this is Tafsir al-Jalalain. So, anyone can tell us how God Fakira, let us call Allah from now on Fakira. Thank you, Fakira, for giving us an idea. Fakira, by the way, the word, I mean, Fakira is a female name, you know. And actually, no Arab use such a name. I mean, this is stupid, Fakira, you know. There is Shakira, you know Shakira, but Fakira, that's something. Somebody saying to me, Quran is perfect, tafsir is not, but Quran is not. See, the tafsir in front of you did not add anything. The Quran says Allah sent hail from mountains in heaven. The tafsir did not add anything. The tafsir is just adding, repeating this, what the verse in front of you. So the tafsir is not perfect. The Quran is perfect, but the one is saying that is the Quran. The tafsir here is not doing anything. They did not even tafsir, just repeating what the Quran is saying. Anyone who speaks little Arabic, he will see it says, Allah, He sent down hail from mountains in heaven. If you don't believe me, let Shakira read for you. Not Fakira, because Fakira, the one she called me 2 minutes ago, she don't know Arabic. And she is the one who claimed that we do not need to know Arabic. So how you can read your book? So my friend, it's in the front of you. It says, وَيُنِزِلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِنْ جِبَالٍ فِيهَا مِنْ بَرَدٍ فَيُصِيبُ بِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. So don't tell me that's the cloud. Okay, what is the word the cloud? You see, the word the cloud is in the beginning of the verse, but then it says, this is the second part. It says, he continued, وَيُنِزِلُ. This is additional to the first, the beginning of the verse. So from here, let us go to the website here. If you speak Arabic, if you know little Arabic, you will find right away that this what I'm saying is true. And this is why, did you ask yourself why the tafsir is saying the same? Let us say the Christian prince, you know, he is not giving us the correct. Why the tafsir? They understood the Arabic, and those are the scholars. As I'm saying, because this is what it says. Ibn Kathir, Al-Qurtubi, Al-Jalalain. So don't play the game. It says here, وَيُنِزِلُ wa harf atf. Harf atf means you continue. It says and. So the first chapter, first beginning of the verse here, this is the beginning, and then continue until here, and then this is the second part. We start from here again. وَيُنِزِلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِنْ جِبَالٍ فِيهَا مِنْ بَرَدٍ فَيُصِيبُ بِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. And this is your Muslim translation. So you can say the tafsir is not perfect, which is very stupid statement, because if the tafsir is not good, why you call it tafsir? Have you ever heard of a religion? They follow scholar, they call him a scholar when he's an idiot. If you are trying to say to me that my scholars are idiots, and I agree, but that will not change the fact they did not even interpret anything. They just read the verse. They are translating the verse says, and he sent down from the sky, from mountains in it, hail. So what do? You try, you go in denial. You say it doesn't say that. You know what? All what you need to do, just copy the words in Arabic and post it in Google Translation. What do you think? Don't post the whole verse, just post a line. Because sometimes Google, what Google do, search for translation match exactly and show you translation from those websites. But we can do, we can copy the line, like this, and we can take it and paste it in the Arabic translation in Google. And this is Google Translation.
وينزل من السماء من جبال فيها من برد فيصيب به من يشاء.
And he sent down from the sky mountains of hail. The translation is not very accurate. From mountains of hail to strike with whoever he wish. What will we do now? Explain 42:32. Why you are changing topic? Guys, explain 42:32. We are in 24, verse number 43. No problem. What about you call me and I will open the verses you want me to go to? I promise. Mr. Come toward the truth. What about you call me and I'm going to go in the front of everybody and I will open the verses. And you know, if I open now 42:32, are you sure you will not regret? Are you sure you will not regret? Let us go. Guys, did he choose chapter 42? Is that my choice? Is that my choice? Be my witness. It's not my choice. He is the one who chose this chapter. Let me take a screenshot of his request. Now, in the front of everybody, do you accept this chapter to be from God? Look what the chapter 42 says. Let me switch to the English translation. This is what this is Fakira do, by the way. Fakira, many like Fakira, when they call you, they say, كَذَلِكَ يُوحِي إِلَى, you know, they are not reading Arabic. They are reading in English letters. You know what I mean? They don't know Arabic. They will read like this. You see those things? It sounds like Arabic. So for you, like a foreigner, you think, oh, he's reading Arabic. Huh? له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. What the heck? But he don't even one Arabic word. But look what will happen now. You choose for me chapter 42, but in chapter 42 it says that Muhammad, he was sent only to Mecca and what is around it. And this is why we send you the Quran in Arabic. This is chapter 42. Do you see it? In chapter 42, the Quran says that Muslims are pagan, and they, you know, it says here, have you taken awliya, not for worshippers, awliya. Awliya mean protectors, you know, friends, etc. Like the one, you know, like a father for you, or someone who is in charge of you. Beside him, Allah. But this is what the Muslims do. Allah, he never spoke to Muslims, and Muhammad, he is the one, he can even cancel the Quran. This is chapter 42. Look how Allah, he solved the problems. Now, if we go to the verses he mentioned, he will say, I don't want to talk about it no more. Let us go to chapter 42, verse number 32. I find it very funny. He's asking me to explain. Guys, from the signs of Allah that the ship, they can go in the ocean. It's a miracle of Allah. Can you believe it that a Muslim, he decided to prove to me that the Quran is made by God? He decided to tell me that a boat which I buy from Amazon, like flammable, like those you put some air on the inside them, those are the signs of Allah. Here we go. Read it. Quran, me reading. Are you there? So this is the proof that your God is God? The ships in the ocean, they swim? Allah, he made them swim? Don't you think? You see, we are talking about how stupid the Quran author. So now you choose for me a verse showing that Muhammad is stupid. What about submarine, my friend? Is that a miracle of Allah? This is a miracle of Allah? I mean, what a stupid religion. This is a sign? And you ask me to read for everybody to prove that Allah is God. Guys, look. He's challenging me. He ran away from the hail coming from mountains in heaven, and he asked me to show this. Because now, after you see this, all of you will convert. Be honest with me, how many of you now is thinking about converting after you find out that the ships float because of Allah? It's a sign from Allah. Like those American ship, like, you know, the carrier for fighter jets. And this is a miracle of Allah. That's deep. And who is talking? Allah. And yet you are telling me that your God is not stupid. So even if your God is exist, you just gave me a proof. Thank you for reminding me of this verse. You know, what a sign, man. That's so good. Now I know why the ducks, they say walk, 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 walk. They are amazed by Allah. This is his name in the duck language. In the duck language, Allah's name is Wak Wak, and a Christian prince is whacking your God every day. Quran says a cloud is massive. What? Why you are switching backward, forward? We were in the cloud area. You asked me to go here, and now we go there. All right, let us go back. Okay, read with me. Do you see this part? Here we go. I'm showing you your translation. This part speak about the cloud, but here it says, and then it says here, and he sent down out of heaven mountains where is hail. There's no cloud. Change the translator. Which translator you want? Let's see this Ahmed Ali. He sent down hail from sky where are mountains of it. Like, what the heck? What cloud? And if it is coming from a cloud, why all your scholars saying no? It says, read, he sent down from heaven out of mountains. Out of mountains. Mean, read with me carefully, that there are in heaven mountains, and he sent down hail from it. And the same, this is Ibn Kathir. Mean, there are mountains of hail in the sky. So how come those scholars, they understood the Arabic Quran wrongly? But look what happened. When we show him how stupid the verse he gave us about the ship, he right away, he decided to go back. He says, oh, what I did, I just showed him a stupid verse in the Quran saying that one of the signs of Allah, that Allah, he make the ship float. It's a sign from Allah. You know, Jesus walk in water, Allah make the ship float. That's the same. Just think about it. What Jesus do? He walk in the water. Not only that, he made his disciple walk in the water. What Allah, how Allah, he proved that he's God? Yeah, look at the ship. Just look at the ship, man. It's Allah. Hold on, I have a call. Let us see. Who's calling? Christian Prince. Brother Vogel, I threatened you and don't hang up on me. Zakir, Naik, I will not hang up on you. What are you talking about? No way I will hang up on you. I can't even hang up on you. I can hang you. Hang up on you now. So now I'm going to hang you from your tail. Zakir, why you are calling me? Christian Prince, Allah is showing us that He is the one, the reason for everything to be flooding. Okay. I remember when there was a flood in Mecca, and I can show you the pictures. There's a lot of people was flooding around the Kaaba. Is that one of his signs? Christian Prince, respect yourself. The flood in Mecca has nothing to do with our topic. Oh, hold on. But isn't it the Kaaba? Is it chosen as a location by Allah? Exactly. Okay. So why He chose the worst location in the world? It keeps flooding and all the poo-poo, because in Mecca there is no sewage. They have something they call it bayyara. And bayyara mean a septic tank, you know, but there's no cover for it. So the shit will go out when the flood comes. And all the poo-poo will go around the Kaaba. Let me show you pictures I can. Christian Prince, I don't want to see the picture. And you know what? I'm going to sue you. Look, what do you want? What do you mean you are going to sue me for what? Because you didn't use the word shit in your YouTube. I use the word shit always in YouTube. What you can do about it? Even your Quran say the word shit. You want to show it to you? Christian Prince, I know the Quran word by word. And don't try to play with our shit. What do you mean don't play with your shit? I'm not playing with it. I'm throwing it at you. So if we go right now, Christian Prince, I'm warning you. Don't throw me the Kaaba being flooded. Look, what's wrong with you? Why you are terrified? I'm telling you. Because I can, like, hold on. I'm going to put you on hold. Zakir, if you are talking, I cannot hear you, okay? I just put you on hold. I cannot hear you, I'm telling you. One of the easiest proof that Islam is a fraud. The Muslims, they say that Allah, He chose the location of the Kaaba. Don't they? Even they have videos about how amazing the location. It is in the middle of the earth. How it can be in the middle of the earth? You eat it. Is the earth is flat? And then we find that the Kaaba always, since Muhammad and before, when there is little rain happen, the Kaaba will be flooded and surrounded by poo-poo. Here you need to ask yourself, if Allah is the one who chose the location for the Kaaba, how stupid He is. Look how dirty the water, man. Look how dirty this water. Look. And this is when we start having cameras, you know. And then the Saudi, when they have money from the oil, they start asking the American engineering companies to find a way to divert the flood away from the Kaaba. Allah could not do it. Do you see? Oh, I forgot Zakir Naik is in hold. Christian Prince, you are a coward and you did not let me talk. I go, hold on. Do you see the picture in front of you? Christian Prince, I close my eyes. Why you close your eyes? You don't want to see poo-poo? Christian Prince, I told you I'm not going to look at the picture. But you look at them, you don't look at them. They are there. They are all over YouTube. How Allah He choose the location of the Kaaba? And let us say He chose the wrong location. Can't He use His finger and raise the ground and the Kaaba, make it like 20 meter high? So it will be a miracle, like the water cannot touch it no more. Christian Prince, Allah, He will never use His finger. And the only time He used His finger is to give it to you. What the heck? Allah will give me a finger. Which one? Christian Prince, respect yourself. Allah, He used only one finger. Which one? I can't tell you. What the heck? This is God. So this God, He decided to choose the best location for His house. His house on earth. His house on the earth. And what He did? He chosen the worst location where it's flooded by poo-poo. Do you want me to prove that this is fake story, that Allah, He sent the angels 40 years or 40,000 years before Adam, and they put the black stone there, and then they built the Kaaba, and then Adam, he landed in Sri Lanka. Look, what the heck? Adam landed in Sri Lanka. And now I know why we are Arab. We like tea. Like in the Middle East, like tea is our beer. You know, like you go like tea, coffee. So Adam, he landed in Sri Lanka, and this is the house of Allah. So why Allah He sent Adam to Sri Lanka if his house in Mecca? And how Adam walked in the water too? Sri Lanka is an island. It's not connected to India. How Adam he walked in the water? At that time he made a ship, by the way. Do you think he made a ship? You know what? I think Adam is so good in swimming. I think he's like Tarzan, you know? He's just a fresh, came from heaven. He eat real honey. And so this is the house of Allah. Is it? You know, let me show you an old, by the way, old picture for the Kaaba. Like now you see the Kaaba, how it is, there's marble, you know, this is the oil money. You want to see the Kaaba just 100 years ago? You will not believe it. Dirty, ugly. Look at this, guys. This is the Kaaba. Can you believe it? Nothing. This is just 100 years ago. This is after we have cameras. Can you believe it? This is the Kaaba. While the Ottoman and the Caliphate were building palaces using the Christian, because they do not know, those Arabs did not know how to build palace, fancy houses, mansions. This is their house, the house of Allah, thrown in the garbage. This is an older picture of the Kaaba. Look at this. Just look. the house of Allah. And not only that, they used to go, look at this one. Here, now it's now here, now they open stores, but it's still the ground is dirt. Look at this. And they have a fence around it. Very funny fence. Look at this. It's like a cowboy. Do you see? There, it's a dirt. It's totally dirt. The ground is just dirt. And they open, and now that the Kaaba is kind of like the Mecca getting bigger and more people coming and etc. Here the oil starts coming, you know, the money of the oil. But look at this. This is the Kaaba. And this is where Shaitan he lived. But this is in the old days. Now they moved him, they moved his location, and they put him in a very fancy 3-4 floors concrete. This is the house of Shaitan, brother. This is where Muslims, they go and throw stones. You see like the circle and the column in the middle? Muslims, they have to go and throw, they call it Ramyu Jamarat. Jamarat, like, you know, the word Jamara is usually, Jamra is like, you know, when you have a circle and it's like glowing from heat, you know. But anyway, so supposedly they are throwing a circle, but it's a rock at the Shaitan, brother. And the funny is, Allah and Shaitan, they are neighbors. They live in the same town. But then, look, this is the mount where now, like this is after they put it there and became higher. Look how big the column became. Before it was small. Look at the Kaaba here. Look. Donkeys, horses. Look, this is an old picture of the Kaaba. Look at this. Look how dirty the ground. Look. This is the Kaaba. Oh boy. Now there's marble, there is. Compare it to the Temple of Jerusalem. Okay, somebody is asking me to compare it to the Temple of Jerusalem thousands of years ago. That's a good choice. From now on, I will make you an admin when we are not live. Are you happy? All right. The Temple of Jerusalem, for sure, like there is, you know, the temple building have stages. But just to give you an idea, this is like resembling for it, because we know that most of it destroyed. But until now, we have a massive rocks and stones, and there is discoveries under the ground, and it's a massive, it's amazing, it's so big, and look at the Kaaba. The Kaaba. This is what we have today, like this is the leftover. Some of it. How stupid this religion is. The Caliphate, they were building palaces in Spain, taking Christians from Syria, because they are very good quality in building, from Egypt, to build for them palaces. Muslims, if you open Ibn Khaldun, a philosopher, Muslim, they are proud about him. He says the Arab, they were savage, and they are willing to destroy a palace or a library just to cook in it, just to use it for fire. That is Islam, my friend. A Kaaba in the wrong location. Adam was sent in the wrong location. Eve, she was dropped in Jeddah. You know what is driving me? I mean, like, Christian Prince, you just said drive me. That means you are being driven by Satan. Like, shaitan, stupid Zakir, Naik. Where you came from, Naik? I thought I hang up on you. Christian Prince, nobody can hang up on me because Allah is with me. What hang up on you, you idiot? The Jewish woman, she killed your prophet by poison, rat poison. What do you mean? Are you more stronger than the prophet? She put some poison for him in the goat, and he ate the goat, and Christian Prince, first of all, it's a miracle, because the goat, she told the prophet not to eat. The goat, she told the prophet not to eat after he ate? Exactly. I mean, who's the stupid here? Shouldn't the goat speak before the guy eat? Christian Prince, the goat, he was not able to talk because he was cooked. Okay. And then it took her time to be able to talk. What the heck? So it took her time to be able to talk, and her head is cut off, and she is being cooked. She's barbecued. And now she waited until the prophet, he ate from it, and then the goat, she told him, don't eat me. Is that a convincing story, Zakir Naik? Christian Prince. First of all, Allah was trying his best to make the goat to talk before the prophet take his first bite. But it took time. And this is why the goat, she speak later. But the prophet, he died from poison anyway, so what the point? It didn't matter. Allah, he made the goat talk. Is Zakir Naik, the goat talk? Is that the same goat who ate the Quran? Christian Prince. The story about the goat eating the Quran, that is different goat. This goat is what cooked you, stupid. You are talking about different goat. It doesn't matter if it's a different goat or the same goat. Maybe it's the same goat, we don't know. And maybe she is her cousin. But what kind of God, he could not stop a goat from eating his book? Christian Prince, you are changing the topic. We were talking about the prophet was dying by poison. And secondly, there is no proof that the prophet died by poison. What the heck? The prophet says that. Is your prophet lying? Christian Prince, my prophet don't lie. But maybe he thought. What the heck? So maybe he thought that Allah is talking to him too. And maybe he thought Jibreel is coming to him. And maybe he thought, let us go. So either you take what your prophet say or you don't take. Christian Prince, let us assume that the prophet died by poison. What the problem? So how Allah, he saved Jesus from the Jews to kill him, yet he did not save Muhammad from the Jews. Christian Prince, I have to go right now because my second wife is coming and I have to watch this. Zakir Naik, where are you going? Ask the answer. And so we have a question. Why Allah did not save Muhammad from the Jews and they killed him by poison, but Allah, he saved Isa from the Jews? Don't you think this is mean that Isa is better than Muhammad, and Muhammad, Allah don't care for him, so let him die horrible death? Christian Prince, I have to go and I have to watch this. Thank you very much. People, if you like, subscribe to my channel. I have 3 million and 3 million to be a fellow for, but nobody understands anything what I'm saying. Thank you very much. The prophet, he died by poison. By what? by poison, rat poison. Who says so? The Prophet himself. We call him Prophet just for our love. Don't take it seriously. And this is Sahih al-Bukhari. They cannot say, you know, da'if, authentic, not to, you know, the game they play. Guys, did you download my video and post and post for him to refute me? I would like to see Muslims and Christians send an email to Zakir Naik, including the link, challenging him to answer about which one Allah created first, the mountains or the stars. Tell him in the email, Muslims, that this guy made a lot of Muslims leave Islam. You better do something. You better do something. Do we have any Muhammad in here? Well, look like tonight, I mean, it's Saturday night and people are like maybe going out to a restaurant, etc. For me, I don't go out and prefer to spend my time with you. Even you guys are boring because I never hear you. Shame on you. No, I don't hear. Okay, you know what? As long as there's no Muslims calling, Christians can call. As long as no Muslims calling, Christians can call. Who wanna call? Nobody? Nobody know. Nobody know. Nobody know. Nobody. I was eating a goat, and the goat was poisoned. Nobody told me. I ate the goat, and the goat she killed me. Nobody, nobody know, nobody know, nobody know, nobody, nobody. If the goat she told me, I will not eat you, and I will not die for you. Nobody. La la la. We are what? We are loud in the chat? That's a lot of loudness. We are loud. We are loud in the chat. That's a good one. Muhammad did not come with this one. Where do you get this one from? The only one is trying to contact us is Fakira. Do we have anybody? يخرب سوالفك يا أخ العرب. حول. هنا إذاعة البي بي سي. حول. ستنضن إذاعة البي بي سي. Just I want to greet you. You just want to greet me. You don't call liars, but you call Allah 5 times a day. You know, I find it very funny that when a Muslims, they call Allah 5 times a day. Remix, he said, welcome Remix. You can, you can call me names. It's okay. I understand. And you are in pain. You are in pain and you need some alcohol. So Remix Gamer, he said, I don't call liars. That's good. Let us read the chapter of Al-Fatiha. You call Allah 5 times a day. You don't even say your own words. Not even one word of yours. You repeat what Allah said. Look at the Muslims. They call Allah. But in the case of Allah, there is nobody answering. And then they say to him, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. Bye-bye. What the heck? And then 2 hours after, they call him again. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. Look, what the heck? And then 3 hours later, they call him again. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. Like, what the heck? And they call him after 3 hours again. Like, you idiot, at least say something. Imagine there's somebody, he call you 5 times a day. He don't even say his name. He just repeat what I said. This is what Allah said. So you call him 5 times a day, saying the same stupid thing? The same exact stupid words, which mean nothing? By the way, do you say to him in the name of Allah? How in the world you say to Allah in the name of Allah? Look, they are praying to Allah, they say to Allah in the name of Allah. Why you became a messenger of Allah now? If you say to Allah in the name of Allah, that means you are not talking to Allah. People, are you following with me? I know most of us, we read, but you don't see what I see. You know, I have a different way of thinking. Look at this. You are talking to Allah. So now you are calling Allah. Allah, He answered you. What would you say to Him? In the name of Allah. Like, what the heck? He is Allah. Why you are saying to Allah in the name of Allah? Any Muslim? Any Abdul? You call Allah, you tell him in the name of Allah? How silly. Imagine somebody come to your door and your name is Muhammad. You say to him, in the name of Muhammad. I am Muhammad. Yeah, in the name of Muhammad. What the heck? Who are you? You are all ears? That's amazing. These days, there's a human being, all of them, they are ears. Our English is funny, isn't it? I am all ears. You know, when I was learning our English, I was like really getting dizzy with this English. Like, I remember once they said it's raining cats and dogs. What the heck? Raining cats and dogs? What does that mean? I don't see no cats. I see no dogs coming from the sky. Raining cats and dogs. Yeah, anyway, English. The language of Allah is more merciful. So, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Who is talking? Allah. You refuse to create Quran only Muslims? Fakira. This guy is not even a Quran alone Muslim. He take only the Quran of Rashad Khalifa, the one who agree that he is a messenger of Allah. This is you again, right? Rashad Khalifa, Shushu. You know, you believe that Rashad Khalifa is a messenger of Allah. According to Muslims, you are a kafir, you are not a Muslim. Secondly, the one who accepts Rashad Khalifa Quran, he accepts then that the Quran is corrupted. Number 3, the one who accepts Rashad Khalifa Quran and Rashad Khalifa teaching, he believes that the Muslims are pagan and they worship Muhammad. And I can show you the video right now that Rashad Khalifa, he says Muslims are pagan, they worship Muhammad. So this is the guy, and he is the guy who said the F word to his prophet. So you are bringing me, if it's not you, you are bringing me the most stupid person to defend your religion. Secondly, when somebody says Quran only, that alone is a proof that you are an idiot and you decide to run away from Islam, because how you learn about Islam without the hadith? The Quran is an empty book, there's nothing. And how you follow verses in the Quran which was cancelled by the hadith? There's tons of verses in the Quran were cancelled, which mean abrogated, by a hadith. So if you don't take the hadith, you don't take the cancellation too. Do we have any Muhammadan? All right. Just lower the sound until he answer. The call declined. And people, they ask me to call and then they decline my call. Let me block you. Oh, maybe he don't mean it. Let us call him again. Hello? Hello? Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Thanks for taking my call. I just want to say that I really enjoy listening to you.
All right.
I'm a long distance truck driver in South Africa, and I'm also studying to become a teacher. And my fiance, who stayed in Saudi Arabia for some time, for about 3 years, she introduced me to you. And ever since, I've been sharing your videos, and I've purchased 3 of your books.
All right.
And the last book I cannot purchase, Quran and Science, because I don't know if it's a
Yeah,
problem.
because Amazon is hiding it. I will see another way to publish it. The Muslims, they are fighting this book, but I'm going to publish it soon in a different way.
And another thing, CP, what I wanted to say, I'm in South Africa, so I think we're having a bit of difficulty getting the books to South Africa because I had to import the book via a friend of mine.
Yeah,
I
will try to make them available in Google Market. I think Google is more popular more than Amazon, and I will make it easier for people to receive it. In the same time, my friend, all my videos are for free, right? You got the one who wrote the book speaking to you, so here you learn.
Awesome.
Here you learn, and we stay here. As you know, I stay for hours and take calls, and we explain in details. So, and I want my videos for free, right?
Yes, definitely. And it's the best. It's the best videos ever.
Yeah.
I share it continuously with all my friends and colleagues. I even have a friend of mine who's a businessman in Cape Town, and I introduced him to you. But ever since I introduced him, he has a lot of questions, but he's not responding to any of my video requests. And I always invite him to your shows. But I think when certain people, when they find out the truth, they have so much to lose that, they don't want to continue in that, you understand?
Yeah. Well, they will be willing to speak to people who they are ignorant about the religion. If they knew that somebody he would get me busted, they will run away. That will be the end of their career.
I want to share something with you. My fiance and I, we bought a house together a few months ago, and the lawyer who we had to sign the papers with, he was a Muslim, and we had coffee at a coffee shop where we had to sign the papers, and he asked us if we were Christians, and I'm always very to share my faith. I'm always willing to share my faith, but I remember in the past when I was at university, I had a lecturer. He always badmouthed Christianity, and I had nothing back to say. But ever since learning from your channel, I was ready for this Muslim. And he wanted to badmouth Christianity. And my first reaction was, speaking about the Quran. And he couldn't, you could see his face look like a rat. He couldn't understand that I asked him. I showed him the hadith about Aisha being 6 years old. He wanted to argue, and I showed it to him. Sahih Bukhari, and you could see he wanted to stop the conversation and leave.
Yeah,
so
if he noticed that you are ignorant, then he will continue the conversation because he will see that you are weak, you do not know. He will take advantage. But the second he notices that maybe you know more than him and you can get him busted easy, so he will change the topic.
And yes, you could see he was so angry in his face. He started to almost like he wants to shiver, and my girlfriend my fiance, she tapped me, and she said, okay, that's enough, because you never know what these people are capable of. They're very radical in Cape Town as well.
Yeah, but never fear them. No, never fear them. Those radical, they appear only when they are majority, and when they are minority, they are potatoes. When they are minority, they are potatoes. If you are alone and there's like 100 of them, they are heroes. This is who they are.
Yes.
We know them very well. Yeah. Anyway, my friend, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. No, I was just saying, Chippy, I always try to share in South Africa, especially in Cape Town, because a lot of our Christians, we are very ignorant. as you stated yesterday, they believe that Ishmael is the father of the Arabs, the
Yeah.
father of the Muslims, and I always try to advocate for this. But we are very ignorant in church, and we're not willing to change as well. We're not willing to
Well,
equip ourselves
try
with
your
such.
best to share my videos and let more people knows about them. If you have Facebook, Twitter, post, and let your group share together, and then you can, this is how like knowledge is spread. Like it's like a snowball. Like I know you live in Africa, you don't have snow, but but snowballs start small and then grow. Right? You can do that. Always, you can do that. Never give up.
Thank you, CP, for
All
all
right.
your work. God bless you.
You're welcome.
And thank you. I'm listening.
You're welcome. And say hello to your fans, please.
Will do,
All
CP.
right.
Thank
Take
you for
care.
your time. God
Take care.
bless.
God bless. Yeah. Yeah. I saw one of you said, CP, I have your book in PDF. Do you want it? I mean, isn't it, this is the most stupid statement ever to say to the writer, the author of the book, I have a PDF of your book if you want it. Secondly, if you have a PDF of my book, that's mean you are a thief. Just to let you know. When you take a book without permission of the author, you have it a PDF, that's mean you became a thief. This is what PDF mean, unless I give it to you for free. Did I? Any book in the world you download, it's not given to you by permission, you are a thief. Very simple. And the funny is, you are saying to the author of the book, I have a PDF of your book, you want me to give it to you? That is really stupid statement. I don't want to offend you, but you offended me too. As you know, I give tons, all the translation actually of my books for free. Is it right? Indonesian, Russian, Chinese, Albanian, Croatian, you name it. But people, they are so cheap. Even the books we try to make little income with them, they want to steal them. Even those, thieves. Yeah, CP, do you want your book? That's a good one. May I ask you a question once you have finished the topic? I need to know what do you think about verse 32:5-74. Maruf, are you a Muslim, my friend? Maruf Ali? I forgot. Why you don't call me and tell me what do you want to know about those verses? Do we have any Muslim? Well, I'm so glad that's, the knowledge is going around the world. Like, look at you, people from Indonesia, people from Bangladesh, from Saudi Arabia. We receive calls from Bahrain, people left Islam from Bahrain, from everywhere. South Africa. I mean, so this is the nice thing about the internet. You see, if I want to go in the street, I will speak to what, 10 people, 5 people, 7 people. In the internet, the best thing about it, you can share the reference immediately in the screen. Like if you go and look at those like speaker corners, they are just shouting, I mean, there is nothing here. Things is perfect. We show you in the screen the reference. We show you what we are reading. We show the one who debate us what we are talking about. Same time we get them busted. Right? Quran 7:179, a man, he does not lie on God or say bad things on him. I know, Free Abdul Rahman. Why you don't call me Free Abdul Rahman? I don't understand. Anyone understand what this guy is saying? Read chapter 7:179. Okay, if I go to 7:179, do you promise me that you will not regret that chapter? Do you promise me that you will not say, please change the topic? Here we go. This is Abdul Rahman, Free Abdul Rahman, asking Christian Prince to do what? Read Quran 7:179. What about we read it from verse number 1 so we can start laughing Alif Lam Mim Sad. What the heck is that? It's a miracle, brother. But those are letters in Arabic. It's a letter, brother. It's a Arabic. It's a miracle. Are you there, Free Abdul Rahman? So why you jump in chapter 7 all the way to 179? What about we start reading, you know? Read and laugh. We created you and we gave you shape, and then we bade the angels to prostrate to Adam. Like, what the heck is that? Why Allah is teaching paganism and teaching to worship and to bow down to someone beside him? The first one who taught and he ordered to bow down to human being, it was Allah, the God of Islam. And then he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam, and he got upset from Iblis. But Iblis is not an angel. This is the chapter you choose for me. And then look at this. Allah, he said to them, go down. He said to who? He said to the shaitan, get down. And then 2 minutes after, shaitan is in heaven. Allah told shaitan to get down. How shaitan he was able to go back inside the heaven after he got down to speak to Adam and Eve? This is the chapter you gave me. Do you want to show you more? Poopo, I did not start. We are just in the beginning. Look, he said to him, get out of here. And then he said to Adam, Adam, go to the yard, okay, to the garden, have fun. You are in the heaven now. So now shaitan is out. Out where? Down. How shaitan get back again? This is the chapter you asked me to read. Do you want me to continue or stop? So he skipped all the garbage and he said, go to 179. Let us go to 179. Here we go. Let us see what 179 is. Amazing chapter. He want to show you. Guys, he want to show you something. 179. Look at this. Your God Allah is going to send the genie who they are made of fire to hell. They are fire. Have you ever heard of somebody is going to burn fire by fire? Isn't it your stupid Quran? In the same there it says that Allah and that his genie are made of fire. So how you burn someone is made of fire by fire? Are you going to make the fire as hot? Isn't it your Muslim when a guy he opened the door, he saw fire over her pubic area? He called the sheikh, he said, Assalamu alaikum. Yesterday I opened the door of my house and bedroom and she was touching herself and there was a fire in her pubic area. Fire in her pubic area? What the answer was? Well, brother, the genie is made of fire, so she catching fire, he's having sex with her. The shaitan is different. Look at this. Look, we must, you know, Christians learn intelligence. Look at this. Look at this idiot. Nope. No wonder your name is Remix. He is doing remixing. Look at this. A Satan, the shaitan, and shaitan is different, brother. What the heck? Look. That is the best remix ever. This is the best remix. Let us go back to the other idiot. And then he says that they have eyes and they don't see, and they have ears but they don't hear. They are the same as animals. Let us see who is the animal. Your stupid God is the one who made them not to see. Isn't it the stupid Quran says that Allah, He made them not to see? Khatam Allahu ala qulubihim. Just to show you how stupid your God is. So you are complaining why you don't see, right? But isn't it your stupid Quran says that Allah is the one who sealed their eyes and their heart and their ears? Chapter 2, verse number 7. Who is the donkey now? So now you gave me a verse says, you have eyes you don't see, you have ears you don't hear, you have heart but you don't feel. But the Quran says Allah has sealed their heart and their ears, and what the heck? So the stupid verses you gave me is a horrible, because what Allah he just did now, he is complaining that he will send them to hell because they don't see and they don't hear. They have eyes, but who is the one who sealed their eyes? Allah. Who is? Now I know why the Chinese, they said he left as a donkey, never come back as a horse. Now we can just go back to Remix. Mr. Remix. So shaitan is different from shaitan. How is that? How the shaitan is different from shaitan? Look at this deep, man. Look at this. Guys, he is saying the Satan is different from Satan. Man, that's hot. The Satan is different from Satan. And you know, going back to the animals, I will switch between them. The Quran saying that those who don't hear, don't understand, they are like animal, they are misguided. But isn't it stupid? Quran says is the one who misguide them is Allah. And who is the animal? Is the one who think that hell is coming from mountains in heaven. The one who think that sperm is coming from the backbone, and women, she have a sperm coming from her ribs. And the animal is the one who teach you to be an animal and have sex with the children. And yet he is calling non-Muslim animals. Who is the animal? No, we will never allow such a filthy mouth to be in our program again. We have thousands of videos of him calling, recorded. We have enough for them. Don't ask me to speak to such a filthy. You want to help? Bring me a sheikh. We don't want to have more filthy kids. We don't want to go down to his level. And Abdul, so he want to prove to you. And look, if I call the Muslims animal, the Muslim, they will say, look, Christian Prince is calling us animals. Look at this filthy religion. They are calling us animals. Actually, there's a guy, his name is Dawah guy. He have a Mercedes-Benz behind him. He don't work, he make money just from YouTube. And he said, look at those animals. These are better from the Christians. And the phone he is using is made by non-Muslims. The car is made by non-Muslims. The clothes he's wearing made by in China for sure. And he is talking that the cows are better than them. When you want to do one life in French, somebody told you I speak French. I don't speak French, my friend. The only French I know that you have to add "lu" before any word, like "lu" are welcome to debate me. "Lu" Mohammed is an idiot, and "lu" Allah is shish kebab. There we go. I spoke French. Do we have any brave Muslim? Shaitan is different from shaitan. That's deep. You see, the Quran says that non-Muslims are cattle, but your answers prove that you are the cattle. You are the kind who believe that you have a shaitan, he sleep with your wife. And yet shaitan is invisible. And shaitan, he sleep in your nose, but yet he have a penis, can go inside your wife. And not only that, he will make a bretnet in the French way. How as a creature in the size, he go in the size of your booger. He piss in your ears. Look, hold on. Let us show you who is the cattle. This is your sheikh, the shaky sheikh, telling you what the prophet wisdom is about. Huh? Read. Who is the cattle? The one who have no brain. Cattle have more brain than you.
Has holes.
The prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their ears.
I really do.
Who is the animal? So you call us animals? You believe that there's a person, his name is Shaitan. He sleep in your nostrils and he piss in your ears? And you believe that shaitan, he take hair from your anus when you pray? And you accept that. You know what? Donkeys will not accept such a thing. Donkeys have better brain than yours. What about you do this? Can you take a video of your anus when you pray to prove to us that what your prophet said is true, that shaitan, he take hair from your anus 5 times a day? I keep asking the Muslim to do it. Nobody dare. Cowards, liars. Because if they do it, they will expose their prophet. It's going to be a miracle. Your video will hit millions, man. Put the camera slow motion behind your anus when you pray. People will see the hair in your anus is being stretched out, as the hadith says, because the shaitan will stretch out the hair. Stretch out? Why? Like, do you have 6-foot hair there? What do you mean stretch out? How you can stretch it out? How long the hair in your anus? Like, what the heck with this hair? The hair in the anus is going to stretch it out, and then he will pull it, and he will not stop until he calls the Muslim to fart. Is that how you smell? So you Muslim, you go to the mosque and shaitan, he make you fart in the mosque. Is that why the mosque smells so bad? And you are talking about the cattle? Which cattle in the world will accept such a story? I feel sorry for your anus, man. Actually, I will never convert to Islam, so somebody was going to touch my... I will never do that. What a horrible religion. What kind of a prophet he says such a stories? Now, do you have a brain? For a second? By the way, do you have an insurance over your anus? Because look like you are targeted. I'm telling you, your anus is a target, my friend. Don't go to Texas. They might use it as a target practice because shaitan is using it. I mean, your anus is under big, you know. You cannot because you are cursed. Look, Remix, Remix is enjoying the hair in his anus taking off. Hey, Christian Prince, you cannot be a Muslim, you are cursed. Did you hear about the pimp who converted to Islam? He is not cursed. And the Muslims are so proud, a pimp. Interview from channel to channel. The pimp brother. I mean, he have videos of himself having sex and beating women and playing with his penis. And what the Muslim they do? They interview him, mashallah, alhamdulillah. A pimp. Do you see who will leave Islam? Just watch my video yesterday, the decent one. The decent one, the wonderful one. Who convert to Islam? Criminals, pimps, because Islam fit perfectly for them. In fact, there's a video in Hatun, go watch it. 3 Muslims, they were talking about in their channel that it's okay to be a pimp in Islam. And this is from the chapter of Al-Ahzab. Go watch it. Do we have anyone, any 2, any 3? The one is cursed, my friend, is you. Don't you see that all of you dream to go to the Western areas where the one is cursed? I mean, if we are cursed, why you dream to come to to those countries? We are cursed. All of you. Nobody want to live. If the West opened their door, not a single Muslim will stay in his country. Why? Because we are cursed, right? You're right. Anyway, I think we have a good time today. As you see, you guys they are not inviting, any shake, any potatoes, anything. So, and the Muslims, they are like go and they want to debate this guy and that guy. But when it's come to me, they are, the only one call me is Fakira. Fakira, who became a girl from Senegal. Yeah. Anyway, I really appreciate you all. I hope you guys enjoying what I do here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and you can join us in Patreon. It's for free. You do not need to donate anything. Patreon just to receive notification, because YouTube sometimes don't send notification. When I go live, you'll receive notification in Patreon. You know, always when we share knowledge, sometimes we have to repeat the same thing 1,000 times. And sometimes it might be like boring. But always you need to remember that we do that for a very simple reason. Because there's many people, they never heard this before. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, my friend, you are live on air.
Hold on, let me mute the YouTube. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I do. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I see you're about to leave.
It's okay. I will. No problem. I will talk to you. You spoke to me before, right?
Yeah, we talked before. I kind of left Islam,
Oh, okay.
and I'm studying Christianity.
All right.
And I ask you if you can talk about the Trinity and all that.
Yeah. You want to talk about it now? What you mean?
I see you're tired. We can talk.
No, no,
about
no.
it
I'm not
later.
tired but there's nobody is calling, so no problem. The Trinity, my friend, is very simple.
Yeah, I have a question. Like,
Go ahead.
I was reading the Bible, right? And I can't understand why God said, like, Jesus, if Jesus is God, why did he pray to himself, right? I mean,
He
he
is not
prayed
praying
to,
to himself. You see, this is what Trinity is. When Jesus he speak to the Father. If there is only one person, we Christian we believe in three person, not one person. So God the Father is a person, God the Son is a person, God the Holy Spirit is a person. So when Jesus he prayed to the Father, he prayed to the Father. The Father is other person. When we say God is one, doesn't mean number, mean unity. The word in Hebrew is echad. Echad does not mean as one number. This is why the Bible says that the man he leave his family, his parents, and he will be married to a woman, and both of them they will become echad. The same word, it says your God is echad. So your God is one, but echad, not one as a number. So when Jesus speak, he speak to the Father. Now if you say, well, if God is one, how God is speaking, do we have two God? No, God is one, but as a unity, which means that God the Father and God the Son and God the Holy Spirit, three as one in the mind, in the will, in the target, in the plan, in the creation, in everything. And we as a Christian, we believe that Jesus himself is born of the Father. That's why Jesus he say, everything I have is given to me from my Father. So we don't believe in second God and third God and fourth God. We believe that God is one, everything belongs to him, and this God is a person as a Father, this God is a person as a Son, this God is a person as a Holy Spirit. And actually, if you look around you, you will find everything is based in the Trinity. Not only God, the creation, all the creation. We need air, we need water, and we need light. If one of them is missing, we are not exist. Everything, even oxygen, which mixed with hydrogen, make water. It's H2O. So the base of life, even the Quran says, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ, which is wrong, by the way, according to Islam. Why? Because when he say the Quran says everything is made of water, that is a foolish statement of the Quran, because the Quran itself says that the genie made of fire and angels are made of light. However, so everything around us have the fingerprint of the Trinity, and you cannot deny it. And if you say it's not logical, well, is it logical that God can make somebody come from grave? That's not logical. If you say it's logical, you know, that God, he can do miracle. No, miracle is called miracle because it's not logical. Miracle is called miracle because we cannot explain, but we witness
yes.
for it.
So, like, you're saying, when you say three person, what do you mean by, like, saying three person? The God is one, or
Three person is three person. I am a person, you are a person, he is a person. Three person. But Jesus himself as a person is born of the Father. You see, in order to understand the Bible, you have to go deep, not only just like to be shallow. As an example, if you go to John chapter 1 verse number 1, it says in the beginning it was the Word. But and when the Bible speak about the word, the beginning as a word, this is the logos. The logos is the mind, is the will of God. In the beginning it was the word. So this is Jesus when he was as the mind, as the logos, not a word as a written word. And then the word became a flesh. So the mind of God, the will of God became a flesh. He took a body of a human being and he came to us. So if you say why God he want to do that, the Bible answer says, for God he loved the world, he sent his only begotten son. So there's a plan from God to save all mankind, including you and me, and that plan is very simple. There's God who is visible and there's God who is invisible. So Jesus is the visible image of the invisible God. This is when we say the word became a flesh.
Why Jesus said in Bible that I don't do anything unless, you know, without the, I forgot the words, but it says something like without the permission of the Father I
Not
cannot.
permission. You say, he said, everything I do is given to me from the Father. And the Father, this is why we believe that Jesus is born of the Father. This is why he called him the Father. Why you say my Father yourself as a human? Why you say the word Father? What does that mean?
Yeah, like my dad. Who's
No, what does that
elder
mean?
than
No,
me.
it's not my dad. It's not my dad. When you say my father, is bigger than a dad. Because the second you say my father, there's an authority.
Mhm.
A dad, you know, dad, you know, I mean, but the father, the word father is about authority and where you get your authority from. So Jesus, he got his authority for he is born of the Father, not the opposite. It's not the Father is born of the Son. That's why he is the Son and the Father is the Father. So the Father is the source of all authority and Jesus himself is born of the Father. So when
So, I mean, it doesn't sound like Jesus is God if he was like born of something. I mean, how can God be born of something?
you see, you are asking questions now because you are coming from an Islamic religion background. So you're asking how can God, because so why you call him God? If God cannot, then he cannot. How
No,
God?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Yeah,
You
I'm
say
using your logic.
that
I'm using your
like
logic.
God,
When you say God,
Jesus came
what the
from
word
God,
God
right?
mean? What the word God mean?
I mean, you know, the creator of the
No,
universe,
no, no.
and
What God mean?
I'm just giving you my
This
my
is
definition,
not
right?
definition. This is not definition created of the word. When we say God, that's mean he is
Yeah.
almighty. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Okay. The one who have almighty is almighty God. Can he do anything or he cannot?
Of course, yes, he can.
Okay, then why you are asking how he can have a son? Doesn't make sense.
No, I didn't say how he can have a son.
Yeah.
I said that if Jesus was created by God,
Who said
or
where in Christianity says Jesus was created by God?
you didn't say like he came from
I
God.
said born of God, not created by God.
So like born, you know. I
Okay,
mean,
let me make it simple for you. When we say created, that means there's a point of existence and point of no existence. Do we agree?
yes.
All right.
Uh-huh.
But in the case of Jesus, no. Why? Because he is the Logos, and the Logos was always exist. So he was the Word, and he was always exist. And this is why Jesus says, before Abraham I am. He did not say, oh, I am just born. And the Jews, they say to him, well, how you say such a thing and you are not even 50 years old? He said,
No, I'm
I
talking
am.
about, you said that he was like he was born from God. Do you say
Yeah, my
like,
friend, born of God, that not mean that God made a delivery like a woman. Born of
uh-huh.
God, that he is coming from God the Father. He was the Word, he was the Logos, and then when he took the flesh, that is what meant by born of God, but is always there.
Okay.
I don't want to make it difficult for you, but it's very simple. When I say you are always trying to measure it as, okay, there's this maybe Mary when she gave birth to Jesus, and this is the time Jesus was exist, correct?
Can you repeat that?
Maybe you are thinking, well, Jesus, he is born of God. That's mean when he was born of
No,
Mary.
no. No, I don't think so.
So
I'm talking about
how
before the
how
world was
born for you?
made,
How you
before the earth
understand the
was
word
made.
born? How you understand the word born then?
I mean, I was asking you
I know,
when
but I'm
like
trying to help
Jesus,
you. I'm trying to help you. So
yeah,
how you
like
understand
so
the word born
Jesus,
when we say,
because I'm going by like when somebody has a son,
yeah,
usually normally we mean by son as somebody gave birth to that.
No, you see, when you talk about giving birth,
Yeah.
uh, a woman, she gave birth. Mary, she gave birth to Jesus, correct?
Yeah, but or you can, like, for example, say amoeba. I mean, it doesn't give birth, but it kind of like
No
has
problem, no
little.
problem, no problem. You see, when we say born, this isn't
Yeah.
about birth and delivery. No, it's about God. He manifests himself. It's a manifestation. Like, can God be one? Can God be three? Can God be four? Can God be 10? Can God be 100? If we say God, and we believe in God, then God, he can do whatever he wish, and he can be as he wish. So if God, he have no mind, he have no logos, he have no existence, do you think God is a thinker God, or God is just a concrete? Do he think? Do you have a mind? Is he exist just as a word mean God, or he exist as a very super intelligent person?
Yeah, like we can comprehend, so I can't really say
Why cannot?
because I mean, we don't understand our own self first, like why
No,
or
no.
how
You see, we don't want to go there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to make it simple for you. You see, if you read with me in the Bible here, it says, Jesus, he said, Yeshua said to them, if I glorify myself, my glory is nothing. It is my Father who glorify me. Here, let us stop here. Why God, if Jesus is just a man, why God the Father will glorify Jesus? Who is Jesus? Doesn't make sense unless he is God and he is the Son. So when he say, if I glorify myself, my glory is nothing, because anyone glorify himself. It is my Father who glorify me, he of whom you say, he is you our God. So Jesus saying to them clearly, I am the Son of God. And then he says, and do not know him, but I know him. And if I had said I do not know him, I myself would be been a liar like you. But you do know him, and I keep his word. Abraham your father desired to see my day, and he saw it, and he rejoiced. Now Jesus going back in time, to the time of Abraham. Abraham is a very famous figure for the Jews, and he is their grandfather. The Jews, they said to him, you are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham? So Jesus now, he claimed that he's seen Abraham. What else? Yeshua said to them, timeless truth I speak to you, before Abraham I am, the living God. So
Yeah, I mean, I read all that. Yes.
all right.
That is not my problem. Like I see that even before the earth was made, right? Anything was made, Jesus existed with God. So what's the difference between God and Jesus?
No, you
Like,
see,
what's
the
the
Bible
difference?
says that everything created by him and for him. So we as a Christian, we believe that Jesus is the creator of the world himself. And that's why he have the judgment over the flesh, because he created the flesh. In the same time, when we as a Christian, we speak about Jesus the Son, still at the end of the day, he is the Son, and Jesus always that he received all his authority from the Father. That not because like he inherit, no, because simply God the Father have a job, God the Son have a job, God the Holy Spirit have a job, and every one of them he do his job. It is a three, like in English, it's not really accurate word when they say person. In Arabic, I don't know if you speak Arabic, it's called uqnum. Uqnum. Like if you have a three, like you have a building of three corners, and this building with three corners, they complete the job, the mission, the purpose. So God is one, but God as the one, he is invisible. God is the one, is a person who is visible, and God is the one, he is as a spirit. So when we say God the Messiah is born of the Father, it's about the visible image of the invisible God and his mission in this earth. And that's why he said, my Father sent me, I did not come by myself. And when we say he is born, it's not about birth, it's not about a minute of existence. All the Christian agree that he exists before time, and time actually created by him. because if there's no matter, there's no time. So before time, Jesus exists, and time doesn't count for him. He's out of time. And when he speaks about himself as the Son, he is speaking about his authority. And at the same time, you need to focus on something very important. I can say, as Jesus said now, I can say all those things. You can say it, correct? I mean, talk is cheap, correct? But Jesus, he have a power nobody have. He is the one who raised people from death. He is the
He
one
resurrected too.
he resurrect people from death. He is he make the blind see. He walk in the water. He control nature. He, you know, I mean, even the Bible says that if we want to count how many miracles Jesus did, nobody can count. There's no books. There's no books. In John chapter 21, verse number 25 says, and there are also many other things which Jesus did, that which if they should be written, everyone, I suppose that even the word itself could not contain the books that should be written. Amen. So Jesus is not just a figure saying, here we go, Muhammad, he's saying the same. Muslim, they say Allah created the world. The talk is cheap. But Jesus, as a person, he was able to prove who is he. The Lord, he said, from their fruits you shall know them. And this for everybody, including him. So the fruit of Jesus, a proof was Jesus, not because his name is Yeshua, and not because he said, I am the Son of God, but because he have the authority of God. When you create, you are a creator. When I ask you who is God, you said the creator, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, when Jesus create, he's a creator. He's God. So all what we Christians do when they explain Jesus as the Son, they are telling you that Jesus, because he come to us in the flesh as a man, Jesus always have to explain himself, because people don't understand how you are a man, yet you are God. But Jesus, he did not just say the statement. Jesus, he did what God do.
So you're saying like Jesus and God, I mean the Father, are one figure before.
My friend, Jesus, he said in one statement, he said, me and the Father. One of his disciples, he asked him, why you don't show us the Father? And that's it. Jesus said to him, I am with you all this time, and yet you do not know me. The one who saw me, he saw the Father. I am in the Father, and the Father in me. So Jesus, he confirmed the unity, but one as not a number. The word echad is not a number. You know, you are confused. And actually, if you speak about God as one, this is very silly, because if God is one, that means there's two, and there's three, and there's four. If it's a number, because we cannot count what cannot be counted.
Yeah, like, okay, I get your point. You're saying that Jesus and the Father are one entity, like God is one entity,
Unity.
but the role, yeah, the role of Jesus as a son is the human form, right? But my thing is, why
Not
was
only a
he
human
praying?
form. Jesus have a job. Jesus have a job.
Yeah.
The Father have a job. The Holy Spirit have a job. So when Jesus, he said, when I leave, I will leave with you the Comforter. I will send you the Comforter. That is the time for the Holy Spirit to be with us. So the Holy Spirit now has a job to be with us as a Christians, as a believers, when the Messiah is far away from us. He will not leave us alone. He will leave with us the Comforter. So because, like, you know, it's like saying, if I ask you right now, you as a person, do you have a soul?
Can you repeat that?
Do you have a soul? Soul.
Soul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have
I
a body?
believe so.
Do you have a body?
Yeah,
Okay, but body is something and soul is something else, and they have different nature, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. But if one of them is missing, you're gone.
Yeah.
So how come we don't say you are two, but we say you are one?
Yeah.
But you are two in reality. In reality, you are two. You are not. Even when the Muslim, they believe, and you used to be a Muslim, that when they say that God, he created Adam as in the shape of a mud, and he left him for 40 years. Adam yet does not exist, correct? It's just a mud.
Yeah.
But when he gave him the spirit and the shape of the mud became a flesh, correct?
Yeah.
So here we have a unity, but they are not one, because the spirit is a spirit, soul is a soul, and body is a body. But yet, when we ask you, who are you? You say to me, I am Muhammad, I am Ahmed, I am etc. I don't know if you change your name after you leave Islam, but still you don't consider yourself two. But in reality, you are not only not one, you are two, and two have two different nature. One is invisible and one is visible. And then the one which is a flesh and the one which is a spirit will not be complete to make you the creature we are talking about unless you have a mind and you have a brain. Do I agree?
Okay.
Do
See.
I agree?
Okay. Well.
No,
Yeah, I get your point.
No, focus on
Sorry,
me. Let me finish this one. If you don't have the brain, do your body function? The soul, do the soul work and the body function if you don't have the brain?
I don't believe so.
Okay, the brain is the one in control of everything, but without soul and without the flesh, the brain is not exist. So you will notice now what you have a three. We have the mind, we have the soul, we have the flesh, and yet we have you as a one person. So three different identity, let us say, and they are totally different in the job. One have full control of how the object work and move and how feeling and even emotion, even anger, even happiness. And then you have a body. The body is just a flesh, so you can stand on it, you can walk with it, and you can survive with it. And you have a soul which is giving you life, which means both of them, the brain and the body, will not be functioning without the soul. As you see, if one of them is missing, you are missing two. But you never say to me that you are three. You say you are one.
Okay, I get that. Okay, I get it. But can I ask you?
Go ahead.
Like same question, like in the same sense, right? So why was Jesus saying that? Why have you forsaken me?
He was quoting the Old Testament. There's a prophecies about Jesus in the Old Testament, and he was quoting the prophecies that they will, they will put him in the cross, they will torture him, they will, etc. So this is a Jesus. This is why he said at the end, it's complete. So the prophecy about me is complete. But all of us, we know that nobody forsake Jesus. How Jesus, a day before, he told his disciple that you will betray me, you will deny me, you will sell me. And when you hear the sound of this animal, before he said that, all of you will do that. And this is exactly what happened. He knew what's going to happen. He knew he was going to be crucified. And so why he will be, he was quoting and all the prophecy about
so
him.
can you show it to me what he was coding? I on the computer.
All right. Let me show it on the screen. Here we go. You can see my screen?
I see John 21:25.
All right. Let me put for you. This is the verses. I will open the verses from all of them, not only verse number 1. Let me do that. This is the book of Psalm.
Yeah, I just see John 21:25.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm opening the.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's you.
Yeah, here we go. All right. So here you see.
I still.
Exactly as Jesus said.
I still see John 21:25.
Yeah. So here you see. This is the English translation. Rabbi, Rabbi.
CP, I don't see.
You don't see it now?
I see John 21:25.
Okay, refresh your page, maybe YouTube.
Oh, okay,
I
do see screen moving. Okay, now I see it.
All right. So you see, it's exactly word by word as Jesus said. And this was prophecy about Jesus.
So what does it mean? Like, why have you forsaken me? Why that's the prophecy? I mean,
the cry here is about unjust. When I have no guilt, I did nothing, and he is reminding the Jews. He is not really speaking to the Father. He is reminding the Jews of what it says about their unjust. They are being unfair. They are being not listening, because here the story resemble how prophets of God, they cry and the nation never listen. The whole Old Testament, there's tons of stories. So you need to go and read the book of Psalm, and you find out how and why this is mentioned. When when I make a speech now, I say, "Oh, those Christians, why God you forsake me? Because I'm disappointed of them." But God did not forsake me.
I got it. So
Yeah.
he was quoting the
He was
that
quoting exactly. He was quoting the prophecy, and he is reminding the Jews of who they are,
uh-huh.
you know, and what they
Okay.
do, and how
All
they
right, I
listen
get
and
it.
how they don't listen, you know. So
Yeah.
I can say that sometime me myself and many people they witness here. I get upset from the Christian. I shout at them, "You don't help me. I do, etc., etc. God, why you do that to me?" But I'm not. As he say, really, I'm just crying for the and you know, like there's. I don't deserve this. I deserve better. I deserve, you know. So prophets of God in the Old Testament, they cry to God not because they don't believe in God, not because they believe God forsake them, but because believed, you know, they are like, you know, like in language, sometimes we use certain words in order to make the people ashamed of themselves. Like when your father, he says to you, "What I did to my God," before you, because you did something bad. But do he really mean that God, you know, he is just showing you that you are being a shameful person. I don't deserve this. So when Jesus he quote everything Jesus he say, he say it for a reason. Even when he said it's completed. Completed what? If he just been forsaken, how it's completed? So the complete is that my mission to the cross is complete.
Okay.
And this
I
is
get
why
it.
he is quoting for them
All right.
this chapter
And
here.
I have another question. So he was praying. Jesus was praying. So who he was praying to? If
My
he
friend,
God
you are repeating
himself.
the same question. Jesus speak to the Father. The prayer is a holy words, holy speech.
Yeah, but you established that God is like Father and God are same entity, right?
No,
You say
not
they're
the
one.
different person. I just told you a different person. So God the Son is speaking to the Father as a prayer. That's why I say to you that my Father, he glorify me and I glorify my Father. So the speech between a holy person and a holy person is a prayer. Prayer is something holy, is a holy word you say. So when I make supplication to God, the reason it's called a prayer, because I'm making a supplication of a holy words for a holy person. So in the case of Jesus, he is holy, the Father is holy, so the speech between them is a prayer. And actually the word pray, like when you say, like, and there's many examples in the Old Testament and in the New Testament about I pray, like I pray you are healthy, but doesn't mean I'm praying now, you know, to God that you are, you know, healthy. You know, I'm saying I hope, I wish you are fine. But in the case of Jesus, when he speak to the Father, all the time he speak to the Father, it's a prayer. Why? Because it's a holy conversation between the Holy Son and the Holy Father.
I see.
It's like, you know, you have there is two presidents and they have a hotline between them. Is it
Yeah,
really
but there are two
is it really hot?
No, I'm saying like there are
No, no,
two.
listen to me. There's
Yeah.
between president like now Putin and Trump, they have a hotline between them. Is it really the word hot present?
No.
No, but we call it hot. Why? For because it's between two high class leaders supposedly, two giants, and this is for serious matter. But now we are talking about God himself, the God the Father and God the Son. So it's not a hot line, it's a prayer. For the Son is holy, the Father is holy, the conversation between two is holy.
Okay. Yeah. If you see in the comment, there this guy, Lil John. See, he said, "My friend, stop playing games. Jesus is number two in your Trinity. He's not the Father, and Father is not the Son nor the Spirit, and vice versa."
So what does that mean? I mean, this guy is being funny because we are not saying he is number one. We are not saying number one, number two, number three. We are saying God the Son, God the Father, God the Holy Spirit. He's an idiot. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. There's no number two. There's no number one. There's no number three. Three person, one God. He is an idiot.
I think he's trying to say like how God, Jesus said that without Father's will, some. I let me
My
just
friend, there's
let me
nothing is
see the
called without
verse.
Father. There's nothing called is when we say we don't want to repeat ourselves. When if we go to John chapter 1 verse number 1, it says in the beginning it was the Word. But who is the Word we are talking about?
Jesus, right?
Jesus. The beginning of everything is start with Jesus, but the Word, which is Jesus, is the Logos. The Logos of who? Logos of the Father. So Jesus' existence as a Logos, and then when he become a flesh, he have a flesh of a human being. But Jesus from the beginning is the beginning of everything. That's why the Bible says, by him and for him everything is created. So when we speak about the Trinity, it's not about God the Father is number one and Jesus is number two and the Holy Spirit is number three. Those numbers actually are not exist. Even when we say the word Trinity, it's just to summarize what we believe. But in reality, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit is God. It's not three gods. It is one God, and each person of them have a duty to do, as we explained to you about your spirit, your flesh, and your mind.
Give me one moment. I saw a verse in Bible.
All right.
Trying to search. Just gonna be my last question. But yeah, like I said, last time I talked, I was Muslim, but I kind of understood that that's not the because they got a lot of problems with Quran, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to read
No,
Bible.
I don't blame you. I mean, those questions are normal, and and some, like even some Christians, they don't know how to explain because they just have faith, but they don't really go into details. But the Trinity, actually, I believe, is very simple. For always a human being, he need to see God. Like, don't the atheists, they say to us, "Where's God if He exists? Why don't God show Himself if He exists?" So in Christianity, God Himself, He come to us as an image of a man, and that's why Jesus says, "Before Abraham I am, and He saw me, and I came to Abraham, I talked to Abraham, I was with Abraham, so and He rejoiced for my day." So always a human being, he wanted to see God. There's many, they have false religion, they have false gods, and their God is imaginary. In Christianity, God, He made it to be true, to come to you in the flesh. You can see Him, and you might say, why He came as a human? For a very simple reason. The Bible explained that God is so, the glory of God, human being cannot handle. Like, it's the same. I don't want to compare God to the sun. The sun is nothing compared to God. But let's just say, I want to get you close to the sun. If you look at the sun with your naked eye, you go blind. You cannot even challenge the sun for a few seconds, right? But this is just a sun, one of the creation of God. So what about God? So God is a glory, preventing you from being able to see and live. So God, the Bible says, so God humbled Himself, so He come to us in the flesh of a man.
Can you? Sorry, I was reading at the same time. The last verse you said, can you show it to me?
Yeah, my friend, don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
Oh no, no,
Just talk.
I was looking at the words that I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, it's if we go as an example, if we go to Philippians 2:5-7, I think. Let me be sure. Give me a second, please.
No, actually, my question was from Matthew 24:36.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says no one knows about that day or hour, not even the Son, but the Father only.
Yeah, that's very simple. I just told you that Jesus, He mentioned, I mentioned to you that the Father have a job, the Son have a job, the Holy Spirit has a job. So it is the job of the Father to decide the day of judgment. The job of the Son is to be the judge.
Yeah, I'll have to read more to understand.
No problem.
Like I said, I mean, I kind of understand, but at the same time, these things like, if God and Jesus are same entity, then
No, you see, I'm talking about
why
entity.
doesn't He know about an hour?
Yeah, no, this is not about the hour. Actually, no. If you read the chapter, read to the end, you will see Jesus, He knew. He said, when this happened, 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 then the Son of the Man will come. So He knew the future. He knew what is coming. So how Jesus do not know? What Jesus is saying, that it is for the Father, not for the Son, not even for the Son, for it is for the Father. You see, even the Jews, they have a tradition. Even if you are getting married, it's not the son who goes and tell the neighbors, I'm getting married. It's a shameful thing to do. It is the Father who will mention that my son is getting married in the day of etc., and you are more welcome to attend the wedding. So the father will announce, for this is the duty of the father, and he himself as a son, he received his authority from the father. So who's going to announce the day of judgment, such an important day? It is the father. But who is the one who knows when those things will happen? It is Jesus already. If you read the whole chapter, you see when this happened, when this happened, when this happened, and then he continued at the end, and he says when this generation, which means this generation who witnessed all those last things happening, when that happened, then the Son of the Man will come with the glory of his over the cloud with the glory of his angels. So Jesus will be the judge in the day of judgment, and he knew everything will happen from now until the day of judgment. But the one who will announce the day of judgment is the Father. Same time, in Christianity, we do not believe in destiny for day of judgment. How is that? We believe that God the Father, and God the Son and God the Holy Spirit, which is one God, gave us the chance to extend the date, which means I can be decent person, we can be a decent city, and judgment day will not come. The more we corrupt ourselves, the more and the faster the judgment day is coming. So God the Father is not announcing because simply he gave us a free will. Go live. You corrupt yourself, you fix yourself, you repent, it's up to you.
I'm reading. So you said if I continue to read Matthew 36, where it says, no one knows, not even the nor the Son, but only the Father. If I continue to read, you say that gives. Let me see. This will be at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be in the field.
Exactly. So Jesus is telling you about the signs of the day of judgment when he will come. When those things will happen.
So why did he say that no one knows nor the Son?
My friend, because the Father is going to be announced. Like what do you say when the Bible says knows is not about information, because he have all the information, as you say. What he is saying to you, that the announcement of the day of judgment is going to be by the Father. And usually, because we are reading translation, translation sometimes can be confusing. So the announcer of the day of judgment is going to be the Father, not even the Son. But as you see, the Messiah is telling them step by step what will happen, how they will live, who is going to, what will happen exactly, by the most clear details. So how he do not know the future, and yet he is saying about the future, because the judgment day is a future, correct?
Yeah, but it says no one knows. That's what I'm asking.
No one knows that.
No one knows.
No one knows the hour. For this is for the Father to announce, not for me.
Why not even if Jesus is God himself, right?
How would he not know? This is not about for if God is Jesus is God. For as I said, the one who have what Jesus said, everything I have is given to me from the Father, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It's not given to him from the Father the hour. As simple as that. He is the Son. He is not the Father. The Son have a job, and he said everything I have, not a single thing, is not coming to me from the Father. So when he say he have the judgment over the flesh, it's an authority given to him from the Father. When he tell you about what will happen in the future, is what is given to him from the Father. When he tell you what anything he do, everything he have is from the Father, for he is born of the Father. So it's very normal that everything, as long everything Jesus have is from the Father, that the judgment day is going to be from the Father. For everything I have, if I say to you everything in my truck is from my Father, given to me, and then you ask me how come there is something he did not give it to you. He gave me because I have a job, I have a duty. And there is a wisdom here that nobody should know the day of judgment of mankind. If Jesus said to them, oh, it's going to be tomorrow, it's going to be in the year, etc., he just told them what they should not know. So it is for the Father. There's a reason that the Father only is the one who will announce the day of judgment. But Jesus, he told them the sign, and the sign is to warn them, not to tell them about date. So Jesus is saying to them, the more you corrupt yourself, the faster the judgment will come to you. The same as the story when happened to the people of Lut. You know, it's mentioned even in the Quran, which is a story from the Bible. So if there is only, he said, God, if there is like what, 70 people are righteous, they will destroy the city. He said no. What about if there's like 10? He said no. Even if there's 10, he will not destroy the city yet. So righteousness, when righteousness die, then judgment day will come, because we believe in free will.
Yeah, like if you read the comments, this person.
Don't look at the comment, my friend. You are talking to me. Why you are looking at the comment?
FHOSSA. I can't really read the name.
Yeah, this guy is an idiot.
Say Christian Prince. I can understand that son and the father have their own respected roles, but at the same time, the son should know as much as
you don't tell what he should know, what he should not, and nobody say that you do not know what the verse is saying. You know, this you are reading the translation, that only the Father, the authority of the day of judgment is to belong to the Father. It doesn't belong to me. What belong to me is the authority over the flesh. I am the judge. He is the one who will announce the day. So let us say we have a court, and the court there is a judge. He will judge the criminals, and the one who will announce the day of the court is the Father. So the judge is the most important person in your case, because he is the one who will decide who will take me to hell or go to hell or go to heaven. However, the Father, because everything belongs to him, he have the honor, let us say, of announcing, because everything belongs to him. As simple as that.
Yeah. Okay, well,
You know,
like I said, I have to
hold on.
maybe study more.
I wanna go with you something. I mean, if we try to focus to find something to make Jesus not God, then we should forget that Jesus raised people from death. Forget that Jesus made the blind see. Jesus said, I am the Son of God. Jesus saying, nobody saw the Father except me. Me and the Father is one. We have to forget everything. So either we accept what Jesus say in full, and we understand
Yeah,
it, or we
but
question one
everything
thing only.
should
We question only
everything
one
should
thing,
make sense,
and that will
right?
delete everything Jesus he did.
Yeah, but everything should make sense at the same time.
No, nothing.
Like I
You
said,
see, you're talking about making sense. I like it when a human being he says makes sense. I just, when you call me, I ask you, and you said how three can be one, right? But you forgot that you are a person who have a sense, and your sense is your brain, and you have a soul, and you have a body, which means you are three and one at the same time. But yet your sense could not lead you to understand that you are three and one at the same time. What was your
no,
sense?
like I said, I understand
No, no,
the
no. I'm
point.
asking you,
It's just
have you
that,
thought about it this way, as I told you? Be honest with me. That you have a soul, you have a brain, you have a flesh, three and one in the same time. Have you ever thought about it before?
no, and I
Okay,
say
I'm asking you
it
now,
makes sense.
where was your
Yeah.
sense? Where was your sense 5 minutes ago before I mentioned that to you? How come you never understood, and you are a growing man all your life, that you have a soul, you have a flesh, you have a mind, and you have a sense, but yet your sense did not lead you to something make sense, that you should be not asking how you can be three and one in the same time when you are three and one in the same time.
I mean, I thought about this before, but I didn't really
No, you just said no.
connect. No, I'm talking about in Christian sense. I didn't.
No, you see, let us be honest. I want you to be honest with me. Have you ever really thought about you as mind and soul and flesh, three and one in the same time? Be honest with me.
I've thought about me having soul and my mind. Like
But
I kind of like question. I don't know.
But have you ever
What's the
mentioned the
difference?
three?
Because
Have you ever
yeah,
have you ever in your thought like come to that conclusion that you are three and one at the same time?
not 3 in 1,
All
2
right,
in 1.
see?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you still, your sense is not working then, because you are three and one at the same time. Because if you don't have the mind, the rest will not function. You have to have a brain in order to be in control. Like when you feel hungry, who is the one who make you feel hungry so you can go eat? It's your brain.
Yeah, yeah.
When you
But
sleep,
see,
what
I'm asking here has nothing to do
how
with
your
this,
body
right?
clock work? Your body clock work because you have a brain controlling. Now you have to sleep. You are tired. It make you yawn. Start yawning. So now your brain is telling you you are tired. You have to sleep. And then your brain he start giving you information that you need to eat or you need to drink now. But this is the essence of life. If you don't have the brain, you don't have life, you are dying. So your soul will die, your flesh will die, your soul will leave you, and your flesh will die, and your brain itself will end dead too. 3 and 1 at the same time. So when we question how God can be 3 and be 1 at the same time, and you ask me now, like, how I am a flesh, I am a spirit, and I am
Christian
a brain.
Prince.
Let me ask you. Hold on.
Listen,
I'm going with your logic. So
Yeah.
do your body in control of the brain, or the brain in control of your body?
My brain is control of my body.
Okay. How come your body, which is your body, do not know that you are hungry, but your brain is the one who knows?
I mean, because the brain is like the central command system.
Okay, but
right?
we now just to solve the problem. So you are saying to me that I am one, yet my body do not know, but my brain know. So how you can be one, yet your body do not know what the brain know?
That's it. Because my main system is still brain. Like if I lose
Exactly.
my body,
So now you just say it, because the brain do what the brain do, the flesh do what the flesh do, and the soul do what the soul do. This is what we are trying to say to you from the beginning.
yes, but my brain is my main system. Like what I mean to say is, if my brain is damaged even little bit, you know, my body will not be will be effective. Sorry, but if my body is damaged, it's not the other way around. So
Doesn't matter if one of them is missing, all of you are dead. There's nothing called damage, little damage. Either it's damage or not. So like if a human being, they say to you he have his brain is dead, what they do? What they do? They put
with
him
whom?
they put him in the serum. They feed him through the liquid, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because if they take it, he's dead. Correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but so the brain die, all of you are dead, your soul is leaving you, your body is dead. So the brain die. When you say my flesh, that's a fact. The flesh is going to die only if the brain make you die.
But CP, the
You see,
problem here is
even
that
the heart attack, is an order coming from the brain. The brain
So,
get
listen,
ring
CP.
information. When the brain get ring information about something happening, so the brain give extra orders for the heart to do, and that causes heart attack.
I get your analogy, but let me tell you this: the problem is that you're comparing my body as
I am
being the
not.
limited.
I'm not comparing. I'm just trying. I never compare. I'm just trying. No,
You're giving an example of the
I'm not even
human
giving
body.
you. I'm not even giving you an example. I'm just showing you how
Yeah.
your logic is working against you, because you are wondering how 3 can be 1, and how one part do not know the other.
Listen. I did not say how can they be one or how. I said we are past that. You explained it to me and I understood. What I'm asking is, okay, I understand they're one, they're God, and they have their own duty. But why? Like I'm talking about the worst. Why is it worded like? I'm reading it about but about the that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the son. What I'm saying, why it is worded
The Son.
as though
Okay, did you notice the word the Son? What the Son mean?
Jesus talking about himself,
No,
right?
not only the Son mean Jesus. It mean the Son. You know, with Jesus, when he is calling himself the Son, he is speaking of son of what? Son of man. How many times Jesus says the Son of Man? Not only the Son of the Father, he is a Son of Man. So the Son of Man, as long he is in the flesh, which is given to him, the flesh as a man, he is not going to be the one to tell you. But Jesus, when he come with the cloud, over the cloud with his angels, they will be the person who is not the Son of Man no more. He is coming back as a Son of God. So not for the Son, that Son, the one in the flesh, is not the one to tell you. But when Jesus, the Messiah, me, when I come back to you, I will come to you as a Son of God, with the nature of the Son of God. And then you will see what I will do. I will be the judge. And he will say, hey, my angels, bring those who do not believe in me and slay them. This is what Jesus said. Bring them here and slay them. That's what Jesus said. Why? Because now he is coming in the authority of a judge. When he spoke those verses, he is speaking in the authority of the Son of Man, who is coming to give mercy, to save them, to rescue them. But when he comes second time, he will come as a judge, not as a Son of Man. He will come as a Son of God with the authority of judgment.
A Christian prince. Can you, if you don't mind, can you put that verse on the screen if it's possible?
Which one?
Just so that we know we're on the same page. Just
I know, and my friend, I do not need to put the screen. I will put it on the screen, no problem. But
no, for the, because somebody in the comment was asking for it too.
what verse
So
you want? What verse?
It's the 36 Matthew.
What Matthew 36?
Matthew 24, 36.
24.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, not 36.
Oh, okay.
There's no
24, yeah.
36. Okay.
And 36 line, what?
All right. Yeah, what do you want to read?
It's not on the screen, but
Yeah.
okay.
What do you want?
No, 36. Oh, yours. I see. Like, how do you say Psalm? Psalms.
Okay, it's going to move. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 36. Show up here. 36.
You see it now?
I see 33, 34.
Okay. You don't see it yet?
Yes, okay. So, but of the day, no man, no, not the angels, but my Father only.
Yeah.
So, Jesus knows or not? That's my question. Is
My friend, you see, it says here the Son of Man, that's mean the man in the flesh is not the one to know, because it's going to be the same as the day of Noah, is going to be surprise. So it's not for you to know. It's not for the Son of Man to know now. But when the Son of God, he come back, he will come as a judge. He is the one to be the judge, judging everybody. So the Son of God is the one who will come and start the day of judgment. The Father, he knows, but the Son of God, who is going to receive, or he received already the authority to be the judge on the judgment day, he will come to do the judgment. So all what Jesus says, for you is not to know, for me, as long I am in the Son of Man in the flesh, is not to know, because simply is going to be a surprise for you, the same as the story of Noah. How the story of Noah is, he warned them, there's a flood is coming, there's a flood is coming, but he did not tell them what day, he did not tell them what hour. The flood is coming, nobody listened. The flood is coming, listen to me, nobody is listening. So the whole story is the following, that Jesus, he warned them, the prophet before sent by Jesus, they warned them, people don't listen. So it's not for anyone to know, for it's going to be surprised. So the hypocrite will not repent an hour before the day of judgment. It's going to be surprised. So the Lord will come to like the same as a thief in the middle of the night, and nobody will be aware that he is coming. This is the whole purpose of this story, that nobody shall know, for there is a wisdom of that. If we tell you, if we announce to you when the day is going to be, all the hypocrite, all the liars, they will repent a day before the day of judgment, and suddenly they are believers. So he will come the same as the flood of Noah. Surprise, when you are not aware, when you think you are okay. But he told them what will happen. He said, the heaven and the earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And what is his words? Is everything he said, and he promised that he is coming back. But that day and the hour knows no man, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. And I mentioned to you that because this is the duty of the Father to announce it. The Son, he will do it. If you don't think this doesn't make sense, it's up to you. But this is how.
So Jesus knows it, but he's saying
Jesus, he gave the man, human, me and you, what you need to know. Like all the verses before, it says, when this happened, when this happened, when this happened, then I will come. So if Jesus do not know the future, because the point is about knowing the future, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, but he in the front of you, the same chapter saying,
So like the one I have open, it says nor the sun. So the one I open is not showing me the correct translation then.
my friend, it is translation. You see, to be honest with you, in order to get the perfect one, I need to read in the original script. But doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Even if it is the man, even or the son, it doesn't make any difference. At the end of the day, you know, translation is translation. But however, what it's meant here, that is not for anyone to know. For this is the purpose of not knowing, that you should be
Okay,
judged.
yeah. I'm trying not to read comment, but some people are really, really like mean.
My friend, don't look at the comment and let me disable the comment. Here
Yeah,
we go.
if they're true Christians, they're doing such a poor job.
Those are not, don't look at the comment, and I will disable the comment. I agree with you. There's some people are idiot. Here we go.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm reading
Those
Bible.
are
I'm
Muslims.
realizing that
Maybe they are Muslims trying to divert you.
yeah, Jesus even said that whatever you say from your mouth, it comes from the soul. So if they're saying bad, like if they're being
Don't,
abusive,
my friend, don't tell me what people say. I'm talking to you. Respect
yeah.
me.
Well, I'm just
The
saying,
same
like
as I
it's
respect you. I'm not looking at the chat. Why? Because I'm talking to you. So let's
yeah,
focus
but
together.
it's disrespectful, you know.
No,
It
no.
makes people
Those are, we don't know who's talking there. It's a stupid chat.
Yeah.
You do not know
Okay.
them. I do not know them, and nobody knows who's talking. Maybe they are Muslims.
This person, Evelyn
I don't
Adams.
care. Who care? Focus with me. So the story is that Jesus, he knew the future. If you are seeking who knows the future, he knew the future. He knew until the day of judgment, and the same in the same chapter. So if we are trying to prove that Jesus is not God because he did not know the day of the hour, well, he knew the future. This is only God can know. No one can know. We are talking about the same time, the day of judgment. For there's two things in Christianity. There's no preset day for the day of judgment. Why? Because when you do those things will happen. It's like saying when you spend too much money until there's no money in your bank, then you are bankrupt. So the day of bankruptcy is in your hand. It's you who control it. You spend more, you have less. So you keep having less, you have less, you have less until you have nothing. So it's not God who decides for you when you are going to be bankrupt. It is you who decide when you will be bankrupt. So Christianity is not a preset date for anything. And the reason Jesus is saying only the Father, there's a wisdom of that. If Jesus, they ask him, why you don't tell us, you know, he will not lie. He will not say, oh, okay, it's going to be, you know, a million years from now, you know, so he can deceive them like Allah. He said to them the truth. It is only for the Father. And why? For there is the same reason, same as Noah. God, he told Noah. He told him about the flood. Noah told the people. People don't listen. The flood came. But nobody knows when the flood is going to come. Nobody knows which day. Nobody knows what hour. So the flood took them in surprise. But the one who have a ship is the one who was saved. And this is why Jesus, we have a verses in the Bible speaking about the parable of the virgins. In Christianity, we don't believe in virgins, but those virgins are the one who they are ready to meet the Lord. So there's women are waiting with their candles, and one, she have a candle, but she don't have oil. How you can light your candle in the middle of the night so the Lord will see you? So what Jesus is saying to you, that exactly how those people are, there's many of you will be the same. You are just questioning, but you don't want to see. You can question, but how come we don't question how Jesus can make the blind see, how Jesus can make the dead alive, how Jesus can create from nothing everything? So if this is what will make Jesus not God, then everything else Jesus have is what? Jesus simply, this is what Christianity, makes sense, because if Christianity believe that the Father is the same person as the Son, then Jesus, what he said doesn't make sense. Because isn't it one person? No. Trinity doesn't say it's one person. It says the Father is the Father, the Son is the Son. So the Son he do, and he was given to do a job as a son. That's why he was called the Son. The Father is the one who all authority Jesus have belong to him. And what is the most amazing thing belong to the Father more than the day of judgment. So Jesus saying, my Father. It's like saying, I am the crown prince. But guess what? Still the Father is the one who will mention it. The Father then he will send me to be the judge in the day of judgment. He gave me the authority over the flesh. So when Jesus keeps saying, everything I have, everything I have, everything I have, why you don't understand that everything he have is from the Father? So why, how come the judgment day will not come from the Father too? And why he will not be as a son of man, knowing the day? Because simply the Father will announce it, and not, it's not time to announce it. Why? Because people, they have to commit the sin we mentioned. And at the same time, we don't want people to know. We don't want the son, the human being to know. We don't even want the angels to know. For this is a decision in the hand of the Father only.
All right, it makes sense. Like I said, I think my problem was that the translation I was reading said something else. So
Yeah, I
think
understand. But you see, you need to focus on something very important. We have to connect everything together. I can say now the same as Jesus said. I can say I have he's my. Actually, we're Christian. We pray. We call God the Father, correct? But doesn't mean, and I do not know the day of judgment. But doesn't mean I'm equal to Jesus. You know, that's not the case. But Jesus, he told us in the same chapter, when those things happen, this and this and this and this and this. And then he says only the Father. That means an announcement that Jesus, you know, Jesus said, I glorify my Father glorify me, and I glorify my Father. So he said, respect to the Father, he is the one who will announce it. It's a disrespect that the Son, he will take the authority of the Father and abuse it, because simply it's against his justice. For God the Father, he have a plan. And what is the plan? The day of judgment is going to happen when nobody is aware. So the hypocrite will not repent a day before. If a person, he repent from his heart a day before the day of judgment, he is saved. But he do not know the day of judgment. It happened that he repent and the day of judgment came. So the God, you know, our God is intelligent, superior, and there is a wisdom and there is a reasoning for everything. I'm not going to announce the day of my collection when the collection is about judgment of those who they are called sinners. I can announce the day of judgment or collection if it's a tax, so people can be ready, because all what I care for is material. But when it's come to spiritual, there's hypocrite, there's liars, there's deceivers. They should not know.
I get the point. So we move to next question,
Go
if
ahead.
you don't mind?
All right.
Yeah. So if you read John 14:28,
All right.
yeah, it says that my Father is greater than me.
Exactly, because the Father, he have what? He have the flesh of the man. So the Bible says, for God humble himself, he came in the image of a human being. He humble himself. So my Father is greater than me, because he is not coming in a humble way. I am coming in a very humble way. I'm coming as a human being. So my Father is greater than me. In the same time, he called him the Father. Obviously the Father is always a greater. Why? Because he's the Son. Greater in what? Not greater in the gold and silver.
Yeah, greater in what?
Yeah, greater as a father, you know, the value, the respect. The Father, everything I have is belong to my Father. So the humble me is the humble image of God. So my Father is greater than me. You did not see the glory of my Father. You have no idea. So isn't it very normal to say that I'm coming to you as a human in the flesh of a human being, walking in my feet, and my Father
Okay, I
is
get
greater
it.
than
Yeah,
me?
makes sense. Okay. All right. And yeah, I'm watching this guy called Nabil Qureshi.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he actually, I know he passed away,
yeah.
but I like his videos. So, i- yeah, that's where I'm reading Bible and also watching that. And, that's why I called you. So I may call you later if I have any
No problem.
questions.
I want you see, you asked me to read John, right? John 14. But you notice in John 14 it says that no one come to the Father except by me. All right. No one come to the Father
Yeah.
except by me. So what is the purpose? Is to go to the Father. You see how important the Father is?
Yeah.
Okay. So all our work is what? Is to go to the Father. So Jesus, he is doing his duty as a son to save you, to take you where? He says in the same chapter, I am going to go and I prepare for you place. Jesus have a duty to prepare a place for you. Place is not houses, etc. But you know, you will be in the in my list. You will be in the invitation. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you into myself. He will collect us as God, that where I am, there is ye may be also. So Jesus is a promising us to live with him in the kingdom of God. So he is the one who will collect us. He is the one who is going to take us, and he is the one who will save us. In the same time, he says, and whither I go, you know, and way ye know. You know, this English is kind of hard for me to read. Thomas, he said to him, Lord, we know not whither you thou goest. Like, you know, they don't understand. Where you go? Which place you want to go? Where are you going? You know, they thought he was going to go to a place. You know, Jesus said to them, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man cometh into the Father but by me. So look what Jesus he claimed. We are focusing about Jesus knowing the day of judgment, but he just said that he is life. He is life himself. He is life. He is the truth. The truth is God. For everything will demolish. And no one come to the Father except by me. So I am the only way for you. How I am the only way and why? Because I am the way and the truth and the life. I am the one who give life, and I'm the one who will collect life. And everything you work for is just to go and to be in the kingdom of my Father. It says here, if ye had known me, you should have known my Father also, and from henceforth you know him, and you have seen him. Philip, he said to him, listen carefully. Philip said to him, Lord, show us the Father, and that is sufficient for us. I mean, look what we have now. We have a big problem for those who call themselves Muslims, and they say Jesus never said God. Show us, Lord. He called him God. You know, our Lord, our Savior. Show us the Father, and that's it. Jesus said to him, have I been so long with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He has seen me, has seen the Father. And how says thou then, show us the Father? Do you want more clear proof that Jesus here saying that by seeing him you see the Father, but not the person, but he is the humble image of the invisible God. So this is the unity we're talking about, the Ikhad. By seeing Jesus you see the Father.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like I said, I didn't have question whether Jesus, says that he's God or not. My question was, what it means by these verses,
Yeah,
which you made
you see
clear
the
somewhat.
issue, I understand, but you know the issue is, you know, you are coming from Islamic background. Muhammad, his story is shallow. This is very deep. This is very deep. Like, look, when he says, "I am in the Father, and the Father is in me." I mean, this is really deep. This is not just a statement to take it in the appearance, like he is in the Father, and the Father in me, and the one who saw me, he saw the Father. But and then somebody will say, well, you are not the Father. How we can see you? And by seeing you, we see the Father. Very simple. This is what the Trinity is about. God, the Son, humble himself. God humble himself. He come to us in the image of a man. By seeing this man who is called Yeshua, you saw the humble image of the glorious God. So by seeing me, you saw the Father, for I am born of the Father. So either we take everything Jesus said into consideration, or we take only one statement so we can make a movie about it. and say Jesus says, no one knows the day except the Father.
Yeah, I see.
But as you see,
Yeah.
you know, everything here, you know, if Jesus is, by making such a statement, if he is not God, according to the Jews, he deserved to die. Because he just claimed that he is God. He claimed that he is actually, and the Father in me, and I am in the Father, and the one who saw me, who saw who? Who saw God.
Yeah, I read about it. Like the Jews got really angry because he called himself
Exactly, he's calling
Lord.
himself God. You know, this is so when even when the Muslims like speak about Jesus, the Jews want to kill him. They want to kill him for what? For being prophet?
Yeah, no, I don't agree to the Islamic point.
Yeah.
It does not make sense. Either you say God was incompetent in delivering Jesus, that he made a new religion, or Jesus was incompetent for not delivering his message. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick your poison. So I really don't believe in Islamic point of view. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that's why I
my
don't
friend,
believe in Islam, right? I'm learning about.
I am a very
I'm learning
passionate
Christianity
person, so
now.
don't think I'm like upset from you asking the questions, but I am a very passionate person, and I speak from all my soul when I talk to you. So I'm happy actually you're asking those questions. And
Yeah, I mean, even if you got upset, I still would
no,
ask.
I'm not upset. No. I might sound
Yeah.
like, you know, like I'm excited and etc. and, you know, shouting, but the fact is, you know, I'm trying my best with my limited English to help you. The problem is,
I was.
you see,
I was
I can do way better in explaining the stupid Quran because the language is mine, you know.
wow.
But and the Quran is stupid, you know. I mean, there's nothing. But when it's come to the Bible, you need really good, like I wish I speak in Arabic. So the language skills can limit me in order to explain to you how beautiful what Jesus is saying. But
Yeah. That's why I say I need to study more about it to completely like understand the the message from God, right?
yeah,
Like I completely left Islam. I found way too much problems with it. So now I'm studying Christianity, and like I said, I'm watching videos as well. But yeah, I was just upset about the comments. I'm not saying like I'm
don't
just saying like people they're calling themselves Christians, but they're acting like they're Muslims. You know?
yeah. You know, I understand. You know, this is why I said to you, we don't know even who is in the chat. There's
Yeah.
many. They try, and they are Muslims. They try to make you angry, so you will hate Christianity. They do that. You know, there's a website. I don't know if you know about it. This story. There was a guy. He was debating Sam Shamoun in a website. All right. So Sam Shamoun, he answered him. Then he answered the Sam Shamoun. And then the Muslim, he answered him. And then Sam Shamoun answered him. And later, the owner of the website, they found that the same person have the same IP address.
Okay, so he was making it
So
up.
he is Sam Shamoun. He is a Muslim playing Sam Shamoun. He want to make Sam Shamoun look bad. So he make a name as Sam Shamoun account, and he make an account as Muhammad whatever, and then Sam Shamoun answering himself supposedly, but it's the same Abdul, and he don't know that those websites they have an IP. You know, anyone visit their website, they can see, especially in those blogs. When you post a comment, they have your IP there in their system. So the stupid idiot, he forgot that if by changing the name will not change anything, still they can find. There's no way that Sam Shamoun and his enemy are living in the same room.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, people do that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know what they get from it. I mean, if they want to find the truth, find the actual word of God, you know, this kind of stuff is just
Yeah, my
petty.
friend, I don't want you to become a Christian blindly. We want people who they are smart, intelligent, and you're intelligent and your soul will lead you. Don't depend on me too. I want you to be more spiritual when you read. Try to live the story, not just to ask the questions. Go deep, you know,
Yeah.
but try to
I
live the
actually,
story, and you see how this is very spiritual. This is not just a statement. It's not just a phrase. Jesus says, "My Father." Even the word "Father" have a very deep meaning. You know, Father mean provider, mean protector, mean everything. Everything belong to the Father. So even when they ask him how to pray, he says, "Pray like this: Our Father art of heaven." So the word "Father" in Christianity present love, not just authority. This is why when
yes,
we pray to
exactly.
God,
Yeah.
yeah, We don't pray
It's
to
a
him.
relationship with God. I
Exactly.
actually had dreams. I've seen Jesus in my dream. That's why I got more enthusiastic in learning about Christianity, because dreams. I mean, I'm thinking because I'm reading maybe, but it just felt special.
My friend, with the Christ, you will always feel special. And this is why, as I said, we call God. You see, did you notice that Christian, when they call the Messiah, they say the Messiah, they didn't say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and yet we worship him, right? I mean, isn't this really crazy? This is how humble he is. Do you know that the Messiah, he washed the feet of his followers?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, how he is God, yet he's washing the feet? Let's ask the question then. He's God, yet he insists that he should wash their feet. It doesn't make sense. But if you read it, you will see he was teaching them that if in order to be a master, you have to be a servant. So if I am the Son of God washing the feet, what do you do? So Jesus is not just a statement, is not just words, is not a speeches, is a person who is holy, he act holy, and his I don't want to say the word ethic, because ethic mean nothing compared to him. He's way higher. He's love your enemy. What is it? What? There's no ethic in the word says love your enemy. That is even crazy to say. But because he is love. So when we say Father, we speak about love. When we say the Son, for God he loved the world, he sent his only begotten Son. That is love. And this is why the Bible says love never fail.
Yes, I really like this one verse in Bible about like love. It says love is I forgot. Love is kind.
Love is kind. Like, okay, yeah. But
Yeah.
you see, you need to ask yourself why why the Bible focus in love. For everything in Christianity is about love. Everything. God is about love. The Son is about love. Life is about love. Without love, we are just animals. And what gave us what gave us the value of love? It is we are created not like animals.
Yes.
We are different.
One of the commenters is asking what was the dream about. Do you want me to say?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean it was it wasn't clear, but I saw like Jesus appearing. I was in a boat, like a big ship or boat something.
Yeah.
And there was some kind of war, and there were soldiers, and Jesus was healing them.
Wonderful.
Yeah, now, I don't know what it means, but that's what I saw.
Well, my friend, you see, sometime I believe there is some people, they have a special treatment. I'm jealous from you because I did not see a dream like this. This is amazing. This is beautiful for me. For me, I feel really jealous, but in a good way. I'm happy for you to see that you saw such a thing. But I want you not to look at the chat again. I allow it. I want you to focus with me. But you need, you see, that's mean you have a very good, I believe that the Lord is trying to give you a hand. He's trying to help you. And the dream is coming to you is a clear message that you are going to be home with me. So ask your questions, but the best person to ask is the Lord, not just me. I will do my best. I'm the humble me, try to explain to you the amazing him. That is a very difficult job to do for someone like me. But I understand God as love. And because he is love, I think love can explain itself, which is nobody can explain. It's a miracle. I mean, why the mother, she is in love with her son? Why she cry for his cry? Why people they give donation to somebody is poor? I mean, he is not you. He is hungry, not you. So human being is given gift by God, which is called love. And God in Christianity is the only God, because there's many gods, they are false gods. The only one who is all about love. Love never end. Love, everything will pass away. Prophecy will pass away. But love will stay. And you yourself, if you go back in your memory, you will find that people who hurt you, you remember them. And people who loves you, they live with you. Not only you remember them, they live with you. When you remember them, you will have you have tears in your eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
You cannot.
Yeah, it was really touching, because the dream was touching. But anyways, it's quite late, and if I have questions, I'll come back.
My friend, you are welcome. I'm
Yeah, I
happy.
almost cried because I felt really touched. But anyways, I'll talk to you later, and
You cried
thank you
because I
for
said what sentence touched you?
what you said.
Why you felt cry? You want to cry?
No, no, I mean, when you're coming from Islamic culture,
Yeah.
men don't cry.
No, that is that is actually one of the stupid things.
I know, but I'm programmed in such a way,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
crying
yeah.
is you have to hold your tears really, really, really hard.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my friend, you better try to get rid of Islam out of your system so you can enjoy life.
Yes, Islam is out of my system. I mean, culture will stay. There's certain things that stay with you, and but I have only love in my heart, as that's why I'm looking for like Jesus more than anything. So Islam is out of my
Yeah.
my
Well, I'm
heart.
happy for you, and I hope soon you will be accept the Messiah. And for sure, for you accept him, you don't accept him, and he will lose nothing. I will win nothing. It's your life. We believe in salvation, and those who deserve it, they will have it. And like a fire department, they come to your door. They say, if you don't do this, the fire will eat your house, and you say, I don't care. Don't worry, I don't care. But one day the fire will come, and all of us we will pay. We will pay for our ignorance. We will pay for rejection, and in the same time, you see, Christianity it changed a human being. As we said, love can change you, make you a different person. Will make you a different person with your children. Will make you a different person with your wife, because you will not think about your wife as a woman just for sex and babies. Love, my friend. Love in Christianity is the key of happiness. When you have love, your life is happy. Love will make you a new person. You love even your enemy, which means you don't go to sleep cursing them, angry, upset, you want to kill them. Love. Love can heal. Love can destroy hate. Love can break borders. Love can make new families. Look at those people. Many of them, if I say I have a pain, many they cry for me because they have love, not because they know me. I never met them. I never know them, but because they have love. For God, He put love inside us, and we are a family of love, not only family of Jesus, for Jesus Himself is love. For He came to this earth, for God He loved the world, not because He want to have a tourist trip. For the sake of love, Jesus came to this earth. And because of His love, we will be saved. And because of His love, we love everybody. So love always is a positive thing, can be transformed from a person to a person. It's not a material, and nobody can stop it, but you have to believe in it, and you have to believe in such a power, and then you will become a new person. And that's why we Christian, we believe that when you believe in Jesus, you are born again. Why you are born again? Because you are born with love. You are born with Jesus, for Jesus is love. And even when He was in the cross, He showed His love. He says, Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. Love, absolute love, on the cross. Yet He is thinking of them. He loved them. This is how Jesus, my friend. So we as a Christians, even if we are in the cross, we love. For the best of us is Jesus, and the best of us is love. And the more we love, the more we are living a human being. Jesus, He brings us actually back to our humanity. Other beliefs make you an animal. Focus in yoga, focus in yourself, or focus in revenge like Islam, or focus in money and wealth. But with Jesus, you come back to your humanity. You go back to the heaven. You go back as God He made you first time in the garden of Adam and Eve.
I mean, I understand. Yeah. Well, I gotta go. I was just saying, I saw the Evelyn. She said she apologized, and it's okay. I don't mind. I'm just saying, like, as a Christian, I think I don't expect Christians to act like this. That's all my saying. But anyways,
My
We all
friend,
make mistakes.
if let us have love in our heart and forgive,
Yeah.
you know, let us practice it, you know, because
Yeah.
even if the person is a Christian, I do mistakes sometime, you do mistakes sometime. We are
Yeah.
not the perfect one. But as you said, some Christians, they are ignorant and they do silly stuff, and instead of helping somebody to come to Jesus, they make him run away. And you are right, you know, people are ignorant. People don't count even to 10 before they open their mouth. People are silly. People are stupid. But this is what people are. We don't want, and but the smart of us, when he do stupid thing, he apologize because he understood that he did something wrong. So this is why a great example for the Christians, when somebody is talking to me and he is trying to ask questions, don't be aggressive. You are acting like Muslims. Where is the love of Jesus inside you? We are
Yes.
how we can teach people about Jesus, how much loving he is, and yet you don't have love yourself. That means you yourself, you claim to be Christian, you don't know who's Jesus. And maybe the
Yes. I mean,
person who is not a
if
Christian yet,
somebody's
he knows Jesus
trolling,
better than you.
yeah, if somebody's trolling, that is something, you can, make fun of that person because he's trolling. It's like, but I was just, or other people who
Yeah, my
are
friend,
literally just looking for,
Amir, learn from me. People make fun of me all day long. They make fun of my English. They make fun of my grammar. They make fun. I laugh because simply, you know, you have to build a confidence inside you, and that's, you know, I know who I am, and people making fun of me or making mockery or bully, that will not change anything. The bully is a bully. He is bullying himself. He is just empty from inside. So be strong, and this is my advice to you. Like, don't
yeah.
let people make comment about you affect you.
I
Don't.
mean, when Muslims do it, I don't really mind because I expect them to be like
I
this.
understand. I
Like when
understand. You
I,
are disappointed. You are disappointed. I understand. And but you see, I don't look at the chat. I don't, me myself, I don't look at the chat because
yeah.
we don't know who is talking. And you know, people, they have different education. People, they have different ages. People, you know, we cannot say, when we say Christian doesn't mean we have like a hair comb and all of them, they are in the same height, close to Jesus. All of them, they have the same act. No, human, you know, there's people wearing cross, but they are pimps. There's people wearing cross, but they are drug dealers. There's people wearing cross, but they are child molesters. So my friend, don't judge Jesus by me.
Yeah, I don't, but I'm just saying if somebody is planning to be true Christian, close to God, then watch his words. Like when Muslims, they'll be like, "Oh, you're never were a Muslim, all those things." I expect them to be like they don't know anything, right?
Yeah,
So I don't really mind.
we don't know, my friend. We don't know who is
Yeah,
in the
anyways.
chat. I don't know them, and just take it easy and
Yeah.
try next time when you call me. Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
we
Yeah.
have like we have 800 people, like, you know, and who knows who is there? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I just look at it, the Christians, what they're saying, because I expected some feedback. But anyways, yeah, it's 12:39
Yeah.
here, and
Just one
it's
more
already.
thing before you go, my friend. Jesus, he said, "Not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of my Father." So there's maybe almost 3 billion Christian, but doesn't mean that all of them, they will go to heaven. For Jesus, he said, "But the one who do the will of my Father." So not all of those who they are Christian in the chat, they are Christian. There's many of them, they are Christians by name. Even the one who defend Christianity, but maybe because he's defending because he think it's an identity for him, not because he's true Christian. So my friend, always learn one thing. There's only one person to look at, is Jesus. Never look at me. I don't deserve to be the person,
Yes.
to be the scale. All
There's
of us,
no one. Yeah.
yeah,
God is the only perfect being. We're all sinful, right?
exactly.
So it
Thank
makes
you
sense.
very much, my
All
friend
right.
Amir, to call.
Good night, and talk to you later. Okay.
God bless you, and we pray for you to accept Jesus soon.
Yeah, I'm studying, but thank you.
Thank you. Take care. All right, we have let us see. You see, what happened today is a great example how some foolish people, they are foolish. I say shame on you. You see, Jesus, he said he wants fishermen, And what do? You start insulting the person who is asking a question to know Jesus. You acted like Muhammad when the blind man, he come to him to ask him about what? About Allah. What Muhammad he did? He insulted him. Why? Because he's a blind man. What if the blind man he see, he will not ask. He's trying. And what do? You push him away, the same as Muhammad. This is why people, who is the one who he mentioned his name, Eveline? Who is Eveline? Who is this person, Eveline? I didn't see this person. I'm looking at the name. I don't see it, Eveline. If you see the name, please block it. I don't want to see such a name person here. I don't care if she said sorry or not. You want to be the reason for a human being not to be saved? Because of your stupid comments? We spend hours, we spend days, we spend years here to save a human being. And then you come with silly comment, you make them run away. If you see her again, please block her. She is not welcome. Will I forgive? No problem. But why people, they are acting, you know, what kind of a Christian you are? You see, you give us a bad reputation by doing stupid act in the chat. The person, we spend hours to make him leave Islam. And then we spend hours to make him understand Christianity. And then you make your stupid comment. Anyway, he is a nice person, and if he accepts Jesus or not, this is his business. Still, he's a nice person, and I respect him. He is thinking, he's trying. He don't want to be a blind man who jump into something he don't understand, which is very good. We are not the same as Muslims who just say Shahada and become a Muslim. We don't want a bunch of fools to join us. We want the smart ones. We want the quality. We want the one who understand what he believes in. And remember one thing. I don't know how many Christians are there between you, but doesn't mean if you call yourself a Christian, you are saved. If you cannot save others, you are not saved. Because what is the use of you? You know the bees? The insect, it's an insect. It's better than you if you don't do anything. Because bees, they can bake fruits. Because of bees, because of insect, they have a job. They have a job to do. If a human being, he spent his life, he never tried to explain something about the Bible once in his life. He never tried to bring someone to Christ once in his life. So what you are living for? Go watch TV, go. Don't come here. It's Saturday night, it's Sunday night, I stay with you. I come every day. I spend hours and hours and hours. When I try to stand up, my knee hurt me from sitting, holding myself. And when I speak, I'm speaking from my heart. My hands is moving. I'm not relaxed because simply I'm speaking from all my heart, passionate. So when I try to stand up, it's a lot of pain. You are relaxed in your chat, trying to destroy the work I do. The person almost was going to cry. He was touched by what I was saying. but he was very offended by what people say in the chat. So the devil inside you make a disturbance to this person. Anyway, so I want to say, guys, thank you for being here. I think we have enough for today. I'm here for how many hours? 4 hours already. Maybe tomorrow I will take a break if I could. Sometimes I say to myself, I will take a break. It's enough is enough. Every day is many hours. But at the same time, sometimes I feel guilty. I say, you can do it. And what you will say to the Lord, you want to relax. So we hope that we can do better and better. And you see, he mentioned Nabil Qurashi. Nabil Qurashi, a very humble person, nice person, he passed away. But can you believe it, that even when you are dead, you can change the life of people? He said he liked Nabil Qurashi. So you see the difference? A living person in the chat, he can make someone run away from Christ. A dead person in the grave, he can touch a person and bring him to Christ. Do you see the difference? I don't care who apologizes, who is not. If you don't fit to be here, you cannot keep your mouth shut, leave. You see, when Jesus described us as fishermen, fishing means need patience. Fishing needs skills. And fishing is a good fishing, is not to eat the fish, is to save the fish. So if you cannot be that person, don't come here. And don't force me to stop the chat. Anyway, we are happy for our friends. Our friend Amir, you know, he is searching, and I hope soon he will have good answers. And I understand everything he is saying. You know, he is really being himself, asking the question he should ask. But my advice to everybody who want to know about Jesus, including the Christians, Jesus is a life, not only a life, he is a life, which means if you want to understand a person, even a normal person, you understand him through his life story, not a day in his life. Yet even Jesus, not a day of his life, was not a good person, amazing person. But if you want to understand Jesus, don't let the Muslims fool you by quoting 2 words Jesus said and forgetting the rest. This is how the devil, he tried to play with your mind. Remember everything Jesus he said and everything Jesus did, and then you can evaluate if this person is God or not. So if you want to remember what Jesus said about the day of judgment, remember Jesus says that he is going to be the judge in the day of judgment. Remember that he said, I am the way, I am the life, I am the resurrection. Remember that he is the one who creates, is the creator. Remember that he is the one who gives life. He is the one who resurrects. He is the one who makes the blind see, heal the leper. He made endless number of miracles. So remember everything about Jesus in order to understand Jesus, not only on one phrase. Anyway, I want to say thank you for being here. And until we see you, I don't know if tomorrow I will be able to come. I always say to myself, oh, tomorrow I'm not coming, the day I leave. Second day I show up. I will try to resist. You know, because it's very delicious, by the way. I want to use the word delicious. That to be able to change the life of somebody, it's delicious, it is wonderful, it's amazing. It is so lovely when you speak about your Lord and speak with love And then you will see how that will impact a human being, because he feel it as what happened to our friend. And what touched him is not my words. It is the love which I have from my Lord. He is the one who touched him. I was speaking of his love, not mine. And he felt he want to cry. So try, if you want to bring people to Jesus, try to learn how to use what Jesus gave you as love. You have it. If you really love Jesus, then you have it. Show it. Don't be the aggressive. I mean, there's people who they are filthy, etc. I understand. But the person is just asking questions. He's being nice. He's not being rude. He's just asking questions. What we should do, we should show him love and give him the answers. So I want to say thank you. May the Lord bless you all. Have a great Sunday. And if it's cold for you, enjoy the cold. Stay warm, stay healthy. We pray for the poor. We pray for the rich. We pray for the sick. We pray for the healthy. We pray for Muslims. We pray for the Christians. We pray for the Hindus, that they will see the truth, and the truth will set them free. And they will ask the Father to provide them, to help them, to care for them. Because you are sick, he came to you. Jesus said, I came to the sick, not for the healthy. And my friend, each one of us, he have his own sickness. All of us, we need Jesus. Even the one who just think, I am very healthy. All of us, we need him. So pray for him to help you, and pray for him to help others. Pray that the Lord, the Messiah, will not leave us alone. If we are alone, we are doomed. God bless you, and see you soon again. This is your brother Christian Prince, was serving you humbly for today. Take care.